song that Scott Stapp wrote and performed for the Florida Marlins. And listeners of Minion Death Cult will appreciate that this is happening in Florida. There's a nexus point in history that just revolves around Florida. And Scott Stapp is part of it.
He's a Florida guy, right? The Creed is a Florida band, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so.
There a lot of butt came from Florida. I mean, I think a lot of butt came from maybe the Midwest, but I think a ton of it came from Florida too. You know, you guys,
yeah. That's really bad. What you got going on?
The song is called Marlins We Will Soar.
Jesse Duplantis, Opie and Anthony.
Double plays.
Put me in, coach.
Did they commission this song? Is that?
I don't know how it worked. I don't know who asked for what.
I just wonder. It's like, if he just wrote this, it's really, really embarrassing. Like, because he's like,
double play, no rain delay.
Hot dogs.
In every baseball phrase he could think of.
Hot dogs, hopefully they're warm.
She only just got me started.
Yeah, wow, he's embarrassing as hell. So let's move to other, because I think
the song is called We Will
These
Soar.
aren't that bad. These aren't going to
I think we've pretty well covered that section, that post-grunge, strange, like Creed, that part of the thing.
Can I make one request before we close the book on?
Sure.
Well, I mean, maybe we'll get to this. I was going to bring up, like, as the prologue to Creed being Seven Mary 3, as far as like the direct precedent for Scott Stapp voice.
Yes, I'm
funny.
so glad you brought that up.
I don't know why I do this.
Yeah, you and I, Tony, came to Seven Mary 3 on this episode independently because I had a list of bands and songs that made me like that evince 90s butt rock to me. And it's cumbersome. Like the fake deep voice and cumbersome. And then Brian sent me, I think it was your playlist of like songs. I was like, there's cumbersome. That's right.
Let's get some cumbersome though.
Yeah, let's hear it, please.
I fucking can't tell you how much I love this song.
It's fucking great. It's so good.
That right there sounds good, but then when his voice kicks in, it goes off. Here it goes.
I want to go there every day and just buy all the weed in the world.
It's like going to a fancy wine
Girl, why you want to early? You know it's gonna rain anyway. You know it's sort of the same place. Don't know what I'm doing. There's no one else is around. Got some shit in my head, but it's all better than solitude.
Hey, we're live. Party time, excellent. Welcome to Street Fight. Glad you're here. We are live right now, twitch.tv/Street Fight Radio. You can hang out, jump in the chat. We need you all to call in. That's what we're here for. Sunday night Street Fight call-in show for the next 2 hours. Number to dial is 614-655-3887. We will be here to take your calls. And tonight we have very two special guests with us in the studio. Those watching live can see. Very two. Very two? Did I say very two? You said very two special guests. I'm enjoying myself. We have Rax and Sean. We'll get talking to them soon, but WCRS LP FM is the place to find us here in Columbus, Ohio, 92.7 or 98.3 on your radio dial. Once again, that number to call in, 614-655-3887. And if you want to support what we do, head over to patreon.com/StreetFightRadio to get more. Holy Boys. The Holy Boys is good this week.
Really?
I mean, Greg Locke is just a king
That video
of promos.
That promo made me laugh. That video, it made me laugh so hard because first he says some shit about vaccines or something, and then he just yells, "Do not wear a mask in my tent!"
Yeah.
It's like, well, first of all, you're in a tent, so it isn't that, oh, Mr. fucking rebellious, but boy, he was really mad at Kamala Harris, who, by the way, he just stands on stage and calls her a whore, which is like, Jesus, Greg Locke.
Yeah.
He also says crap, but then he'll be like, "That's right, a preacher saying crap." It's not a cuss, sir.
Yeah, so head over to Patreon to hear that new Holy Boys. It's a good one. So like I said, I mentioned, I'm stumbling all over myself. Today we have in the studio Sean from the Antifada podcast. Thanks for being here.
Hey, happy to be with you.
You know him as a worker on Twitter, shit stirrer, profound mind.
I'll take it. Thank you.
And a great podcaster. I really loved all your coverage of the Zelensky stuff, the Ukraine, all that was like so informative, and like I did not have the time to research what I wanted to hear, but you had it. You were the shortcut to what I was looking for.
We had the benefit of really good guests, including a friend who is from Kharkiv, so his family is actually in the shit right now. So yeah, I mean, shout out to all of the great guests on the show. Thanks for the compliment.
Yeah, and then in town, in Columbus, Ohio, our wonderful city, best city in the States, is Rax King. She'll be at $2 headquarters tomorrow at 8 p.m. Doing a book event, and I expect all the Street Fighters to be there. Also the host of the Low Culture Boil podcast, one of my faves. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for putting American cheese in your ramen when I said to do it on my podcast and believing in me.
I trust it. Like there were so many people that said cheese in the ramen. I'm like, I'm missing out on something. I'm one of those people that's like, they're onto something. I'm not turned off by it. I want to try the new flavor.
Yeah, American cheese, people just get so turned off by it for no reason. It's good. It melts. It tastes like salt. Like.
It's a national treasure. Yeah. Let's just be honest.
I know. I did a whole affectation of like artisanal and like fresh and all that stuff, but as soon as I had a kid, I was like, this is the only way to make grilled cheese.
Yeah, it
like
is.
Maybe I will slide some Havarti in between the singles, but that's the cheese.
No child wants to eat a nice cheese. It's a waste of like $8 to try and give like Humboldt Fog to a 5-year-old.
Right.
It's funny because the last time I hadn't had American cheese in like a really long time, but I was sick at one point during the winter, and first of all, this place opened up called Super Smash Brothers, which I was like, that's like a good name for a cheeseburger place. But they're gone now, so Nintendo might have found them. But I was like, I'm going to get that, but I didn't want to eat a burger because I wasn't feeling good, so I got a grilled cheese from there, which I should have just made myself because I think I paid $16 for it. But it was 2 buns with American cheese in between them, just crushed. It was 3 sliders of that, and it was the best shit I've ever had in my life. And now I'm an American cheese guy now too. I mean, my ramen has mozzarella cheese on it. I'm a mozzarella guy on my ramen.
Like the big globs of it, or the shredded?
The shredded. It's this
Okay.
place that makes this thing called garbage ramen or something like that, and it's like
Sounds
a
great.
real ramen joint. They make all kinds of real ramen stuff. I don't get that. I get ramen without soup, and it has dry ramen, pork belly, mozzarella, and a few vegetables. I don't get the egg or the mushroom because I don't like either one of those two things. But yeah, cheese ramen.
We'll have to try garbage ramen when we're in town.
Fuku
We can try like trash miso or scummy minestrone. Restaurants there.
Hey, look, if I'm in town, I'm getting the real shit. Like the good food here. Don't eat the food I eat here.
We had one nice meal here in Columbus, Ohio. My first time ever, I think her second. And I went for the full Polish sausage, pierogi, sauerkraut thing. Very happy. Very
Schmitz?
happy with it. We went to.
It was just this place like right by our Airbnb.
Because the man's choir place wouldn't have us. It was Mother's Day.
Yeah, they tried to be like, we're just booked solid, but there was not a table with people at it in the whole place.
They just
I've
didn't like
never-
the looks of us.
I've never been to that men's choir place, but I see it all the time. And you know,
Yeah.
like right before the year before the pandemic, me and Brett were touring all the time. And there at that men's choir place, they had a Rammstein tribute act play there with the stuff. The guy's like, we do Sparks, we do Fire, we do all the Rammstein stuff.
Ooh.
But we were on tour and I didn't get to see it. The tickets were even like expensive for like an act. Like they were like $30 tickets to go see a tribute act because it's Rammstein. And I'm so mad I didn't see that. But I've seen the real Rammstein in my life. But, you know, in a small place,
Yeah.
being in a small place and seeing Rammstein and not really knowing, like, I don't care if it's really them. As long as
It
they
might as well
sound
just have been them. you know?
Exactly. I mean, it's because right before the pandemic, I was going to buy tickets to see Rammstein in a stadium. And I just was like, I don't know.
Imagine Rammstein doing a cool club shows. Really
Yes.
cozy.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking
Strip
for.
down.
While you're eating your bratwurst, you're
Yeah.
just giving them a thumbs up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's like really cool that there are these guys probably sitting in their garage, like trying to rig up explosives to play at a fucking venue and like it just felt dangerous.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the whole thing had like a real
It
dangerous
had a
vibe.
great white vibe.
We don't want the great.
Yeah, I'm seeing a great white cover band in a small club with pyrotechnics
I
and
was gonna
everything.
say, like, I don't know about paying $30 for a show with pyrotechnics in it, because then I'm like, well, you're not making much money, and you're doing pyrotechnics. You're just like making pipe bombs in your home.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
Yeah.
setting them off in a German restaurant.
I mean, that could be entertaining.
I'm like talking myself into liking it, actually.
Yeah.
As far as I know the history, Columbus, Ohio has a deep history of anti-German pogroms, so maybe that's how you started.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
No, I know that in World War I, the anti-Germanism, I don't know, man. I read-
Anti-Germanism.
It was. They called them Huns, and there were all these German-speaking schools here, and they threw out all the German books and burned. Not just here, but like everywhere.
My neighborhood is really cool because like I live in a neighborhood with one of the nicest school districts in the city. It's also in the city. I'm like a few minutes away from here, just on the other side of a freeway. And I was looking into why the school district lines are the way they are because we were trying to move into this district so my daughter could go to these schools that we thought were going to be like the greatest thing in the world, and they're fine. And but like I found out that the district lines were drawn to not include Italian people.
Oh, wow.
So-
Ancient
And rightly
segregation.
so.
That's some eldritch white-on-white segregation stuff right there.
So they're like, you'll see it come up a street and then go around a house and then come back down and go around. It's just like these fucking Italians. And we have the Columbus Italian Club in our neighborhood, so they fucking ended up winning in the end.
It's
you know,
called Columbus. How are you going to be anti-Italian? It's been 100 years ago. It's got Italian right in the name.
I love
Should have been a
They ruled the
Mecca.
city.
I love the Columbus Italian Club because like everybody in my neighborhood is like, that's where the mafia stuff's happening. Like they immediately say that it's a mafia place. And it's like, you don't actually, I mean, Ohio is a mafia place. We do know that, but that's
Yeah.
more a Youngstown situation. I've never met somebody in the mafia in my entire life.
See, maybe what's-his-face was correct to do the Anti-Italian Discrimination League or whatever.
Oh, the guy from The God.
Yeah, the guy who was literally a mob boss who was like, too many Italians have the reputation of being mob bosses. what our organization stands for is, I'm not a mob boss. It's anti-Italian discrimination.
That
Meanwhile,
show-
he's putting out hits on everybody and shit.
That show, The Offer. Have you seen The Offer?
No.
It's about the making of The Godfather, but it's written by it's based on this guy's experience. And let me tell you, this guy is the most important person in terms of getting The Godfather made. And he also was, almost killed by the mafia, which it's a really bad show, but his psychology, this guy's psychology, the story he's been telling himself, incredible.
It's
I fucking
a
love it.
documentary or
No, it's a fucking acted out TV show
About a crank.
about a producer that worked under Robert Evans. So Robert Evans is the guy that's famously known as the guy that got The Godfather made. Apparently there was another guy that was right under him.
And it's about the other guy.
Hey, it's me. I'm the guy.
He did all the work and then would go to Robert Evans and be like, I did the work. And for it's really badly acted. It's not a good show. But for some reason, there is something about this guy telling his story that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
It's so indulgent. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. And he was able to get a whole production crew together to make a series for it. Love it.
Yeah. Is everybody saying the audio's messed up, Jason? I don't know what it sounds like, but now, see, somebody's working on it currently, I think. I don't know. You want me to go listen to it and see what's going on?
No, I think we're fine.
I don't know. Everybody in the chat keeps saying, I'll go listen to it. I'll be right back. You guys talk. There's a bunch of you guys. Okay.
Yeah, he's not on the mic.
That's true. That's true. So, yeah, I really enjoy The Offer. It is truly one of the crappiest things I've ever seen. But I like crappy stuff.
Well, that's a hell of a recommendation.
Well, hey,
Yeah, you're not really selling it.
anybody who knows me, I do a review show of new metal albums. And I just did a review of Hollywood Undead's Notes from the Underground.
Hollywood Undead. There's a name I haven't heard in a minute.
So we give them ratings on a scale of like an infinite scale, right? My partner John gave it a 0. I gave it a 35. It's the highest rating we've ever given anything and the lowest rating we've ever given anything. And I gave it a 35 because it sucks. It's so fucking bad. I've listened to very few albums that bad.
Have
in
you
my
heard
life.
this before? I've never heard it.
I didn't listen to Hollywood Undead. You know who did is my best friend. She was super into them when we were in high school together. And that just didn't, you can't be the into new metal guy. And
It was very late on. Later on.
2012.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
2012.
And they were doing mask stuff and jumpsuit stuff and trying to do rappy stuff. Also, just the rapping, it's like, guys, cool it, stop. It's the 2010s.
Where are they from?
Hollywood.
Hollywood, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Hollywood,
what
there you go.
Hollywood
They
Undead.
would do outfits and...
They did masks, but they did what every masked musician does and took the masks off after a while because
Yeah.
it sucks being famous and not being able to get into
Yeah,
clubs and
that's
shit.
true.
I believe that every Corey Taylor from Slipknot did Stone Sour to get the mask off of his face.
Yeah.
So that because there was this guy.
There were so many people
Yeah.
pretending to be Corey Taylor from
Yep.
Slipknot.
There was a lot
That's
of
the big
people.
danger.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a big danger.
There was a guy in Myrtle Beach that went around saying he was Kid Rock, for like 2 years that ended up getting in trouble.
Was that riffraff?
It's a very Myrtle Beach sentence right there. That's just what happens there.
And then it's Corey Taylor. Corey Taylor did Stone. I fully believe he did Stone Sour to get the mask off. And I think that like anybody who has a mask, like at some point has to come up with a way to get the fucking thing off of their face because they want to be famous. That's why you join a band.
You've tied your hand. You're committed to the bit, and the bit's not working anymore. But get that mask off. There's a crying baby. Holy cannoli.
Well, yeah. Our studio is a wild place. We're kind of putting everything together on the run here, right? I thought we had it, but we're Jason's working on it. I promise.
I think it's great.
Yeah, well, it feels good to us.
Yeah.
We're all having just a conversation.
It's so much better now that you're here.
Thank you.
I see you posted the on-air thing on Twitter a little while ago. I think it's charming. The little neon sign that says on air.
Joanne Fabrics.
You gotta like click it on and off though when you actually go on air though.
Just let people know we're doing serious business. Like, this is a career we're doing, actually.
Yeah. So the baby crying in the hallway knows whether to cry or not. Oh,
that's what I'm saying. I'm going to go tell the baby, hey, did you see him on air sign? Okay. We were working here one night, and we're probably an hour 15 into the call-in show, which we go for 2 hours usually. And the guy next to us is playing music louder than I've ever heard somebody play music in my like. I don't know what equipment he has in there, but it was the loudest music that I've ever heard, not at a concert. And I've heard some loud fucking music, but man, I want to know what he has over there. It seemed like he had the sound system that you would have for a club, like that you would have for a concert venue. It was fucking crazy.
What was he
it.
listening to? Anything good?
Like shitty, like 2013 rap, like that, like Don't Believe Me, Just Watch kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. I do remember now.
Yeah.
Bruno Mars.
Yeah. We're getting it. We're fixing it. Now they're saying it's lo-fi, and it sounds like a leftist podcast in 2015.
That's leftist.
So
we were doing it back then.
We did it, yeah.
Sound.
Hey, we started that bad sound. We even did for a few months. We did one with a high-pitched beep in the background. we do it, baby.
Yeah,
that's how we do shit.
Yeah, so yesterday I took my daughter to the PSL anti-Supreme Court bullshit pro-abortion protest thing. Man, I was really disappointed by the turnout. Like, there was a lot of people there, but I'm just really concerned that people are not taking this seriously.
Is it a lot of, like, speechifying and standing around?
No,
it was in New York. It was just a lot of people. There was no, like, call to do anything. It was just people passing a megaphone to each other and, like, saying oratory and then just walking away.
Yeah, this was pretty radical. It was good. They called, like, the government fascist, and they were like, we don't need to donate money and vote our way out of this and all that stuff. Yeah. I guess next week there's a bigger like Planned Parenthood rally or something happening on Saturday.
May 14th is like a national day of
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It was still good though. We took over the streets. I had my daughter with me and she's 9, and this is like the first time we've ever done this. And she was so fucking scared. And like really, she grabbed my, like when we walked into the street, because that's something I've told her like her whole life. Like don't go in the fucking street. We're about to go into the street. And she grabbed on me so tight. It was wild. But it was really nice to be there, you know. It's just annoying to me, all of the people that are, like think that they can Instagram post their way out of this, and that we can't just show, like we have to go and like tear the Capitol down. I mean,
dude, it's like the vote blue no matter who people. You're shot in the arm from this. Like there's people who have been voting so hard for so many decades.
I'm gonna vote twice next time.
Yeah, right. Like you still let this shit happen. It's like,
and I feel like they're tipping their hands to the point where if we act up enough, they will think twice because that's what we want to do. I mean, that's all we have at this point. I don't know.
Brett Kavanaugh's house is apparently a lively
party. We started the show. When we started Street Fight, all we said was that a lawmaker should be able to walk around without public protection. Like you should legislate in a way where strangers don't want to fucking throttle you. Like that, like
Straight up.
I could legislate in a way where I would not have to worry about that kind of thing. I feel not that I want the power or anything, but
Yeah. I would
mean,
simply make good laws.
exactly.
I would do laws correctly, and everyone would love me.
See,
That's the plan.
I think if members of the ruling class like Brett Kavanaugh are not safe at night, if they aren't scared, if they feel as though, you know, there might be consequences for their action, I don't know, maybe something would change in this country if people like that were shuddering, shaking in their boots a little bit. That might
I
not
kind of
be
want
so
his
bad.
wife to like have to leave him. I want it to get so bad with people outside the house, just day and night, that his wife just dips.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a good method of agitation in general, is like making someone's wife leave them.
Right, yeah. Or
Yeah.
husband, as the case may be.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's,
It's mostly wives, though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of dudes
You don't
doing
think
terrible
Amy,
things.
what's her name? Amy
Coney Barrett.
You don't think her husband should leave her?
Well, they're Catholics. No, I don't.
No, he's
Maybe
not
Brett
leaving her. He's
Kavanaugh's
not
too.
allowed to
He's the head of the household. Yeah, he's in charge. That's his kingdom.
me and Brett, when we first started Street Fight, and this is probably in the first year, they had one of the first. This had to be one of the first stories we ever did on this show. They closed. There was a bar in the Ohio State House. And they fucking closed it because people were going in there and fucking bugging the people.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
So they just shut their own bar down? Come on, man.
Yeah, well, they might have made it
Cowards,
private.
fucking cowards.
The money wasn't worth the hassle, I guess.
I guess not. Damn.
I'm sure they made a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the people outside of the Supreme Court, too, were setting up on the day of. I think the hard thing about, like, yesterday, the Saturday protest thing, is, like, these things happen, and then they're like, okay, we're all doing it in 2 days. And, like, just people don't do things on 2 days' notice.
You know, people have work.
Yeah.
People have stuff to do.
Is it? But like, if you're fighting, I mean, this Supreme Court ruling allows them to go after privacy for things like, you know, teaching your kid a second language, for interracial marriages. All that stuff is based off the right to privacy.
Right.
So if I think you could be I was there for an hour and 5 minutes. And I think you can miss a birthday party. I don't think there's any excuse, actually, when this kind of stuff is happening. I feel like it's a George Floyd situation. There's no video for people to be outraged about, but, like, this is going, like, no abortions in Ohio is a serious fucking thing.
Do you think they would be able to ban abortion too?
Yes.
Yeah, they're ready to do it.
They're gonna do it, yeah.
The trigger law and everything, yeah.
I mean, the people in charge are there. Mike DeWine is, he seems sensible, but then it always just ends up being that, like, he gets closer doing heartbeat bills and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it just I don't know actually what will happen here, but I just think if there's a conservative outcome to an issue, it's probably going to go that way in
I feel
Ohio.
like that's the direction of a lot of this, honestly. Like, and also the split between the states, because we were talking about this earlier at the Columbus Zoo, which, by the way, absolutely incredible.
We got a good
I gotta
zoo.
say.
You got a great zoo. You have a
Right.
koala.
An unaccredited zoo, by the way. I just want to make
Yeah,
sure I always
Renegade
say-
Zoo,
by
Maverick
who?
Zoo.
By like the Zoo Association of America.
Literally,
the,
yes.
The United Nations.
They took their accreditation away
Because
for
they were
some
on
reason.
some like Joe Exotic shit, either
Oh.
selling animals
Yeah.
to or maybe acquiring animals from some private zoos and
Counterpoint.
Sketch
It's a great zoo.
Jack
It is
Hanna,
true.
there's so
Tiger
much
as a-
Jack Hanna shit
Yeah.
there, and I guess we'll tell you guys since you're in town, when you grow up in Columbus, every hillbilly that you know knows someone who Jack Hanna fucked his wife.
Oh.
And
wooed them.
Or wooed them. You will. You go work in a warehouse. Within 3 days, a guy will be like, "And then Jack Hanna tried to fuck my wife." And it's always just a big rumor, and it like for everybody. Because I had it in I had said something to Brett when we first met, and Brett was like, "Oh, I know somebody that said," and then like every other person you know is just like, "Yeah, it's just such a it's redneck lore."
2
Yeah.
degrees of Jack Hanna.
It's like how in New York everyone knows someone who was gonna be on the plane that
9/11.
someone's cousin or someone's dad. It's never you, and it's never
Yeah.
the person telling you. It's always a couple guys after that person.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only other thing I want to say, I saw that movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. Have you seen that?
So
we
good.
saw
So
it last
crazy.
week. It's
I saw it
wild.
twice. We loved it.
When she saw it the first time, she's like, "You gotta see this
Yeah.
movie."
And
It's
don't look up
fucking great.
anything about it.
Don't look up anything about it. She's like, "You can watch the trailer." So I watched the trailer. I was like, "Oh, cool! It's like a kung fu movie with an old woman." And she's like, "No, that does not do justice to what the movie is. You just gotta watch it." I said, "Okay." And boy, was that a wild ride.
It's a
I've never
wild
seen anything like that.
It was
before.
mind blowing. It was
I've
like a
never-
mix up of so many good movies. Like
Yeah.
there were so many themes going on.
And it worked.
It tried to cover like the human existence, from like nihilism to like relationship with your parents to like choices you've made in your life. It really captured something in a way that like I've never seen before.
It was
Yeah.
somehow like philosophical, but also really like frenetic and entertaining.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
also had like this like soft core to it, while it was also like a very like an actiony type movie
Yeah.
too. Really, really incredibly done. Like that could have gone really bad. I feel
Oh,
like
I
that
know.
movie could have
Yeah.
gone bad.
And I don't usually like a real long movie. Mama does not have the
Sure.
attention span to sit in a chair for a certain period of time. I gotta get up and, walk around. But I just transfixed from start to finish. Michelle Yeoh is so good.
Yeah, that's a 3-act movie.
It literally is.
It gives you all 3 acts. It
Yeah.
says like act 1, act 2, act 3.
Yeah, I think that like for me it was like The Matrix and Kung Fu Hustle and that Pixar movie Inside Out, like all together, just really abstract concepts, really funny, and then also this like weird, I don't know, questioning God of some sort,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
existence, questioning existence,
And it like took itself seriously enough to pose all these philosophical and existential questions, but also one of the central parts of the movie is an everything bagel.
yeah,
That like spins
It's
around
so
in space
twee.
and sucks everything in. Yeah, like twee, but somehow not like Wes Anderson.
it's such an
corny.
epic bacon thing to be
Yeah.
like. I fucked around with the everything
Everything
bagel.
bagel.
Yeah,
But they pull it off. They managed to pull it off.
They pull off every weird move that they try.
Who
in
were
that
the people that
movie.
made that movie?
The guys who wrote it, it's 2 guys named Daniel, so they call themselves Daniels.
Daniel.
Yeah.
I forget their last names. They did one other movie, and I also forget what that's called, so maybe I shouldn't be talking right now.
I think one of my favorite choices also is that it was like sci-fi but so soft, which is my
Yeah.
favorite. Like Philip K.
Same.
Dick is my favorite because in under 200 pages he'll just like throw at you some crazy ass idea that leaves you reeling. In this movie, like they had those Bluetooth headsets on, and I was like, those are really outdated headsets.
Yeah.
But it drove the narrative because all you had to do is look at the side of their head. If it was green, yellow, or
Right.
red, that was like telling you whether
Yeah.
it was safe or not. So she was
Yeah.
able to jump over and over again unsafely, and all we had to look for was a yellow fucking
Right,
light.
right.
We didn't need like a scientist like, oh, the mathematics are off the
Yeah,
charts.
yeah.
my like writing mentor, Tony Tolatamuti, he used to call that the say Bob maneuver, like when somebody in a sci-fi movie has to explain something by being like, say Bob, the such and such device works like this, and they have to devote a bunch of like dialogue and real estate to the device. That's when I check out. I can't do hard sci-fi like that. I need to know most of the rules just going in.
In the Everything movie, they did very little explanation of the metaverse stuff, which was the right decision. If they got
Yeah.
bogged down in how is it really that you jump from one to the other and blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
No butterfly
Instead,
effects.
Yeah, they just presented it like this is how it works, and then you see like some representations of like digital worlds.
It
that
looked-
you're
it looked
like,
like an
oh,
RPG.
I buy it. That's
Yeah.
fine.
It looked like an RPG skill tree.
I know. I love
Character, where you
Right.
invest? Do you invest in tennis? Do you invest in sushi? Do you invest where
And
do you
they
put
have
your
all
time?
like the life tracks of people's lives, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself like, damn, I probably have one of those.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about what mine would be like. Almost drop out of high school.
Yeah.
Get a job in a factory.
Right.
Community college. Drop out of community college. And I'm thinking about the other one. It's like do good in high school.
Right.
Get into a good college. Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
a
it's intense.
multiverse, there's a very successful me out there who doesn't even listen to podcasts, let alone do them.
There was also a good theme of like she felt like the biggest loser of all of her multiverses, but she was actually the best one.
Yeah.
That's like because
Yeah.
we all feel like we have so much like unused potential in a way, and kind of beat ourselves up about stuff like that. You know,
I don't feel that way. This
Yeah.
is the best it's gonna get.
Oh, you
This
nailed
is
it. You're
I'm
ready.
not
To,
gonna do better at anything in my life.
You're ready to take them on.
I should have saw that instead of that Doctor Strange movie that I saw.
Oh, what
Yeah,
is
Doctor
Doctor
Strange.
Multiverse, though. It's about a multiverse.
Okay.
Multiverse is like the new, I don't know, Matrix or whatever. Everything's multiverse now.
I don't like the multiverse thing typically. I feel like it's really corny and everything is just becomes about the butterfly effect. I don't care about the butterfly effect anymore.
Rick and Morty kind of ratchets up the level of understanding people have. It's kind of like with, I don't know, video games kind of did that where it was like, there was Minecraft where you could build anything. There was first-person shooters. Now there's Fortnite. You build and you shoot and you do everything.
The synthesis.
People at this point, we've heard enough crazy crackpot like string theory stuff. I feel like it was popular at some point. There's a lot of movies about it, and then now it's just like the human brain can handle a multiverse situation. Like your regular eighth grader.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
imagine
about us. It's always like, wow, let's make a movie about the multiverse. Let's make a movie about how the main character could have done so many other types of things.
Yeah.
That's all they end up using it for most of the time.
It's also like really understandable because our tech overlords are in the process of trying to make the metaverse. Like, this is going from like a sci-fi like abstraction thing to like Zuck literally wants you in there as an avatar. He wants you to buy real estate in his other universe where you like whatever walk around and buy Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm worried about what the calls are going to sound like.
We'll find out.
All right. I mean, if they sound bad, we'll just do a regular show, I guess.
Yeah, we have more than enough talkers here.
Because it sounds insane.
Yeah, Rax, you didn't make it on Bravo. I heard too many words.
Oh,
you didn't have any.
Fuck
You
me.
didn't have any quippy things to say, like, "Oh no, that's not acceptable."
Listen, so apparently when you do these talk shows, what they're supposed to tell you in advance is you can really only talk for about 15 seconds at a pop.
Right.
But I'm used to podcasting where I can just listen to myself go for an hour plus.
Yeah.
So that's what that's the mode I'm always in when I appear on something. It's insufferable for everyone else, but it's what I do. And I got cut off by fucking Andy Cohen, just coked out of his mind, having to shut me up before I just kept talking and talking.
Yeah.
Humiliating experience. Extremely funny to watch.
No, I absolutely identified when I heard you say that, because I was like, I would also start with like a, let's unpack this a little
Right.
bit.
To answer your question with 4 more questions.
When we did,
What is this ask of us?
Yeah.
we went to the Party World Wrestling in Houston, and they's like, you guys come up and do some commentary. And listen, all I've ever wanted to do is wrestling commentary. Wrestling is on my screen right now. It's on my screen every time I podcast. We sat down and it didn't happen. I just couldn't fucking do it, man. I felt so out of it.
Yeah.
Something about being there in the moment. You can rehearse it in your head for years at a time. As soon as you stick a camera in front of me, I forget how to understand English.
Also,
it's gone.
By the time you got up there, it was like real fucked vibes anyway. Like being in like a studio, a real television studio, everyone's all running around.
Oh yeah.
I was
Chrissy
so
Teigen's
clearly like
running
the
around
bottom
and-
priority.
Yeah.
As soon as Chrissy Teigen walked in the room,
With
the
her
person who was like
handlers.
getting me water just stopped getting me water. It was
Yeah.
all about like Chrissy Teigen needs 7 different kinds of water. Maybe she does, but I just wanted the one, and you were supposed to be doing it anyway.
She literally had she literally had people. Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah, go for it.
She had motherfuckers with like clipboards behind
Yeah,
her,
she had like a
writing
chief
down.
of staff.
Yeah. It's like, dude, you're just a guy. You're just
Yeah.
a woman. It's
And to be fair, I too am just a guy, but I also feel like, I didn't really need any handling. Just walk me in there and let me talk for too long.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. You weren't a lizard enough to make it in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's actually
Thank you. Despite being Jewish, I don't know what the problem is.
It takes more than that. Okay?
All right, ready to jump on these calls? Or we're waiting on the call? Talk for 1 minute.
Talking.
Is it still there?
Let's see. Well, I spent my day yesterday. I've been doing DoorDash to like make ends meet, a little bit of extra money, but it's so bad.
I've heard that.
It's
I've
like
heard that too.
it's good on some days if it's snowing or like thunderstorming. Then people like order food, but when it's nice out, like nobody wants. Like they'll just go, they'll walk.
I live with Jake Flores, and I see him putting the bag on and going off to work. And,
Yeah.
I mean, he vibes with it. He puts in his headphones
It
and
is-
rides around.
In
But
New
it's
York,
probably
people are
different.
always ordering food, though.
Yeah.
There's never going to be like a dead time.
Yeah.
I assume you do it like in your car, not on a bike or whatever.
Yeah, it's in my car.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but I have a
different.
Prius, so it's like I get better gas mileage on that, which
Yeah,
helps.
but the wear and tear on it, they put
Oh, I
everything
know, it's
on
not
you.
worth it. It's not fucking worth it at all.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
desperation.
yeah, and
That's
but
what
it
they
is.
thrive off of, really.
I
Not
mean,
yours. I'm not saying you're a desperate person, okay?
A little bit.
We're among us.
Yeah, we all are in a certain sense.
But yeah, it's like I mean it is like I think better than like signing up for a real job though.
Yeah.
Like at this point, like they also White Castle also is only 13. They haven't gone to like 15, you know, in some places. So it is probably better to spend all your time listening to a podcast, driving around, than to.
When your time is like almost your own. It's not quite your own. It's like dominated by an algorithm, but you can.
I'll tell you two lovebirds about this. The sweetest thing ever is I see DoorDash people that are riding with their partner.
Oh.
I would ride with you if you
That's
were
so
door
sweet.
dashing.
Can we have your little Pekingese in between?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Bring the
nice.
dog, make a day of it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's like so sweet because it's like I don't want to be away from you, but then you're like you think about splitting the income. It's like it
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense now.
Yeah.
But it is more money that comes in. So I'm back to my old ways, which I used to do this back in the day. I'm flipping from the thrift store and from all of the discount places around town.
Mm.
Flipping to just online? Or?
Yeah, just reselling stuff.
Yeah.
Jeans, hard drives, Fitbits, all of it. I'm back on it.
Beats getting a job.
It does. It's
Unironically.
so
I
fun.
never want to work again. I don't know how I did it this whole time.
Yeah.
It sucks ass.
If you focus hard enough on not wanting to work, it can happen.
Ah.
Like
Yeah.
that's what me and Brian did too. Is like we had in common is like we don't want to do real work, and we found a way to
Right.
make it happen.
I don't make like a lot of money,
Right.
but I make enough money that I don't have to go to a stupid place and listen to some dickbags that tell me to do a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff. I don't want to do any of that shit.
There's no big promotion for me that's coming up, but like I also don't have to deal with like a shitty manager.
I'm a union journeyman, which means when I do work, I make a lot of money.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
But boy, have I not been working a lot lately. I went to my first union meeting since before the pandemic, and they said that they've only got one new foundation in the last 6 months in Manhattan, which is our stronghold.
Yeah.
So
They don't have to use union labor for that anymore, I guess.
they used to did when we had all the power, but
What fucking happened in the past year? Damn.
it's been a while now. I remember when I first got in like 10 years ago, we were picketing the first non-union high-rises that were going up in Long Island City and
Yeah.
Queens. And whoo boy, we still picket them, but there's a lot of them now. It's rough out there. The public infrastructure stuff, we still get 100% of. But,
Well, I'm sorry. I used to work in a non-union construction office.
well,
I just needed money.
when you were setting the scabs out, it was cute.
Thank you.
You pulled it off. You did it with style.
I didn't know the difference. All I knew was that like they posted this job on Indeed and it paid a little bit of money, and I was like, I could make a little bit of money. I love a little bit of money.
Everyone needs a little bit
Sign
of
me up.
money.
Yeah.
Just a touch, just a skosh of money.
All right, you can try taking calls, but
Is there technical difficulties with calls?
We're having technical difficulties.
we're not. No, it just sounds bad.
Oh.
To who?
The people listening to the show,
Oh.
it sounds bad.
Oh, there's
Got it.
people listening to this?
Yeah. So then, when we get the call on, which is going to be running through a phone line, I don't know what it's going to sound
Jake can
like.
clean it up.
All right, go for it.
Nobody. The chat is still there. They're listening. They're commenting.
They're trying to solve the problem, is what I see going on. But go for it. Take a call.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, it's Hank in Los Angeles.
Nothing.
Hello, Hank.
You guys
in
can't hear
Angeles.
us? No.
No.
I can
Hearing it all.
You can hear them?
Hello.
Stay on the line.
Can you hear me?
Hank.
Hank, you're our friend. Stick around. We want to hear
I'm
what you
so
have
sorry,
to say.
Hank.
Hank.
What the fuck is going on? How is this possible? If he can hear it.
I can hear
Hank,
you.
you
And
there?
yes,
They
I'm
can
here.
hear Hank. Everybody can hear Hank except for us.
Motherfucker.
No,
Hey,
Hank.
Hank, just come down to the studio.
Sir, I'll be there soon. I'm in my Prius.
Hank! The whole world calls me
man.
Hank.
Good Lord, Hank, man, it's great to hear your voice.
How the fuck can I not hear Hank?
Wait, what?
Go ahead.
You
Hank.
we good? You guys hear me?
I got you, buddy. I can hear you. All right, Hank. Woo!
Yeah, that's great. Glad
Hank
I'm
is
on that and I
crystal
can help.
clear,
I can hear
too.
an occasional rapid clicking sound,
Yeah.
but otherwise it sounds.
We heard about that.
You all sound distinct and okay. So yeah, but something goofy in that room. So
Sure.
So Hank
all good
is
now.
crystal clear, and we sound like shit.
No, we sound fine. There's a clicky though.
No, we don't.
He said we sound okay, but the clicky.
All right. Well, on the phone, I'm not even gonna. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessing. So, what's up, Hank? How's it going?
I'm listening to the on hold queue, like the queue feed, not the like streaming feed. So I might be getting a different signal than the people watching on the streams.
The
Just,
people on
you
the
know,
stream are
right
hearing
on.
something totally different.
Yeah.
That sounds like shit.
Cool. All
What?
Sean and Rax, it's nice to see you guys.
Oh, hi.
Well, Sunday calls shows. Sean, I'm a listener of Antifada, and I'm actually one of those people who tried to buy the long 20th century when you had, I think it was Terrence on like a couple years ago, and he was on recently, and then you mentioned that I couldn't find it. I tried to buy it, and it was not available at all. So,
Really?
so it was interesting.
That was probably my proudest moment in podcasting. I hate to say it, but when we heard like a week later that you couldn't get the book anymore, I was like, damn, people do listen and like the show and want to be reading the similar things that we like to. So thank you for trying. You might have better luck now a couple of years later. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll try. I've learned a lot from your show and like I like those deep dives into capitalists and history and stuff. So I'll just just everything I learn about the world, I just continuously get radicalized every day. So thanks for helping.
Good man. Thank you for listening.
Now, what do you learn from listening to our show?
Hey, he just said he. Well,
I learned that picking up leaves is fun when you're walking, and Legos can be
skinning
is not at all a weird hobby for a guy in his 40s.
I started leaves. I started leaves today. So, but now I got to take this back. Legos they make Lego sets for 18 and up. I only buy the 18 and up Legos, which is a little bit harder to put together than some child's Lego set. Everybody's impressed. The Legos in the studio, nobody even noticed them. You see how impressive they are?
That's really
That
impressive,
is
though.
impressive. They're just low down to the ground.
we need a
Yeah,
shelf.
I'll show
We really
you.
need
We need
to
a
censor
shelf.
those
Show it
things.
off.
We should put them right in the shop.
We're gonna get a shelf.
This is
Can I hold
Dom's
it?
car from the Fast and the Furious.
That's
Oh,
tight.
I'm afraid to break it. Here we
Nah,
go.
don't worry about it.
Oh,
And then
there
this
we go. Look at that.
is my other car. And then,
Yeah, you could model it too.
if you're not a car head, I gotta ship in
That
a
is a fun
bottle.
one. Shipping a bottle is a fun one.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's called the Leviathan too.
Those are some very cool Legos. They're not for
Breaking.
children, okay? It doesn't matter. It's fine. It totally
No,
is.
I don't want to break your beautiful thing.
But yeah, so Legos are not for children. It's not weird for a 43-year-old man to play with Legos, okay?
Not at all.
Yeah, I was on the spot there for a second. I had to come up with something, and because I would absolutely do Legos as well. And you're
Gotta get some.
you're just participating in consumer culture and expressing your fandom through a hands-on activity. I think it's nice.
Thank you. I'm building the DeLorean from Back to the Future right now, currently.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Which, my favorite movies, like, you know how, like, I figured this out when I started building this, is that, like, I never felt like I fit in the current pop culture because, like, I didn't read comic books growing up at all.
Okay.
I don't know who any of these
I
people
didn't
I'm
either.
watching in these
You don't know who
movies
the
are.
Moon Knight is.
No, not a fucking. I didn't know that. I didn't fucking know that. Like, who's one of the? I never saw an Iron Man in my life. Never, not a
No.
single fucking time. No Iron Man.
Me neither.
And then Star Wars. I didn't even watch Star Wars until 2 years ago. I watched all the movies. 2 years ago, I watched them all. So I was trying to figure out like where I fit in the like nerd culture situation. It's Back to the Future. Those are my favorite fucking movies. I love them. They remind me of my childhood. And when I'm playing with my Back to the Future car, sometimes I'll just like pretend like it's flying and go doo doo doo.
And say great lines like where we're going, we won't need roads.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great line.
I will say this. When I finish a car, Lego, for a few minutes, I just go like this. I say every time I do.
That's why people make them.
Vroom, vroom, vroom.
You want to do vroom vrooms? Yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah, I'm a huge Lego fan. Always was.
I still shift when I walk sometimes.
Yeah. You gotta get some Legos. I mean, I'm telling you right now, don't do what I did and accidentally buy $2,600 worth of Legos in 3 months.
They're too much.
We live right by the Lego store too. It's a dangerous thing you're telling us to do right now.
Me and my
It's a
brothers
heroin
had
dealer.
them as a kid, and a lot of them were hand-me-downs from like others or whatever. And when I was like 26 or something, I asked my mom, I was like, "Where's all the Legos that we used to have?" She's like, "Oh, they're in the attic." It's like, "You serious?" So she brought them to my apartment in Queens, and so for like a year or so, me and my brother and my friend, we'd play with Legos again. But then my next apartment I was moving to, I had to get rid of all my childhood Legos. I gave them away to somebody.
It's funny. I'll tell you, it's funny when I tell people that there is a Titanic Lego set and it costs $750.
man.
Sucks so much.
And I want it. Really, I really want it. I'll
Is it a
never
broken
get it.
Titanic or a still?
It's
all
the
together?
full thing, and I think it also has innards and stuff. It's got like all kinds of shit in it.
Okay, that's actually really tight.
Yeah.
It's got like one section of Legos that breaks off very easily. So
Yeah.
that you can do the dramatization.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do they sell it to you where you're supposed to construct it already broken in two? It sounds
They
like not.
should put a hinge in the middle.
A
I
hinge,
get what
right,
you're
right.
saying.
And
Yeah.
then like a Lego ocean whirlpool kind of setup.
Yeah, the other one that's $700 is the Millennium Falcon, which they have, and the most expensive one I'm trying to get my hands on is $350, and it's the house from Home Alone, and it has all the traps in it.
Wow.
So
They've gotten really elaborate Legos. When I was coming up, it was just like yellow Legos.
You build a
red
spaceship.
Legos.
All
Yeah.
you could build with Legos was a spaceship.
Like a really highly angular spaceship with a lot of right angles in places that no spaceship has them.
It's smart though with all these new ones that they're bringing out that are like 90s and 80s tropes, because they realize that the people like us who grew up then and are attached to all these things, we still love Legos.
Yeah.
We'll still play them. Let's just
I'm
make
not
them
too proud.
themed around movies that came out like when we were kids that we really enjoy, like a
Yeah.
DeLorean and stuff.
Right,
It's good marketing.
and once you start making, that's what they're doing to us now. Sorry, Hank, we'll get right back to you, I promise.
Very important, Hank. I'm sorry.
What they are doing,
This is called getting jumped in the street fight. If you have to listen to Brian talk about street fight, talk about Legos. So.
what we're doing, but what this isn't even Legos though necessarily, but they are like making super expensive toys for stuff that was around when we were like kids, and like it's wildly successful.
They got our fucking number.
They're
They
getting-
know we have nothing to look forward to,
Yeah.
so we're all
Yeah.
about shit like Back to the Future till the day we all die.
We're all looking back to like the last times in our lives
Yeah.
when we had some semblance of anything.
But when was I happy? Well, I was like 9, I guess.
I remember the last time I was happy. 1993.
Yeah. Just before 9/11, I want to say.
Yeah, it's so funny to me it's so funny to me that they like, I was listening to a podcast one day. This guy, it was a podcast version of a video show, right? And apparently a guy comes in a room and he's bragging, he's showing off. He fucking shows a Funko Pop of Moon Knight. And the other guy on the other end gets like really jealous. And he was like, that thing is worth $1,400. It's a fucking Funko Pop of Moon Knight. It's crazy.
You just don't get it, dude.
I don't
No.
get it. I'll never get it.
I do not.
I think that like there's like a deeper truth here, and I think you see it with the Gen Xers, and I think you see it with the Boomers too, and hell, you see it with like the silent and greatest generation, which is that you're young and there's like a certain amount of like cultural artifacts that you can pull in and make your own and enjoy and love in maybe the first 20, 25 years of your life. Then the next 50 to 70 years of your life is all like nodding back to this, like, you know, these things that you feel comfortable with.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. We're all trapped now in the 90s.
I'm not trapped.
The first thing I learned in therapy was my therapist was like, "Hey man, do you remember what's the earliest memory you have?" And I said 12 years old. And he was like, "That's really fucking abnormal, right?" And he's like, I was like, I mean, I know there wasn't any abuse or anything like that. He said, "You didn't build any bonds over, like, because people's earliest memory before that," he said, "is when you're like really creating bonds and like having bonds with people." He's like, "Do you remember any of your friends from before you were 12? And I was like, "No, I don't remember a friend's name. I don't remember what I watched I don't remember the cartoons I liked. I have a vague recollection of like Tom and Jerry, but like I don't remember the toys I had, the cartoons I liked. I don't remember any of that shit." And it literally, according to this therapist, he thinks it's because I didn't like my parents or, you know, I had Jason. I apparently didn't like anything or anyone.
Teachers, neighbors.
Not a bond in sight.
Dogs, cats.
Yeah. Sorry, Hank. What's up, Hank? How's it going?
Oh, it's going. It's going. I feel bad for shaming you about the Lego habit, and so let's just call it locker room talk. And, I think I would totally do Legos too. I'm 42, and I love building stuff. I think it's a wonderful creative activity. Absolutely.
Well, when I'm listening to YKS and he says, "I'm not going to make fun of Legos because I promised Brian I wouldn't make fun of Legos like a week ago." It's just like, now I am the guy. When people see Legos and they're like, "Look at those Lego nerds." That's me now.
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
You've typecasted yourself.
Yeah.
You've never taken that mask off.
Yeah, it's better than it's better than the guy that pissed his pants at an airport. But the picture of me on the bus.
Oh,
yeah, it's better than that guy. So
Brian,
what's up, Hank?
Brian, you should improvise. You should do some of your own Lego creations and like your favorite snacks and foods. Just get generic piles.
I got to apologize. I want to apologize to everybody about my snacks because I went a little bit more mainstream.
What?
Now.
You
Yeah.
don't blondes anymore?
I don't know how this happened, but like I'm on Twix.
You're
Just
on
like
Twix.
constant
Basic
Twix.
Twix?
Yeah.
Just constant Twix. They
Left or right?
all as many. I usually have 4 in my hand when I'm eating them anyway. But yeah, I'm on Twix. It's not exciting. It's not 100 grand. It's not a Mounds. It's not a Score or a Hot Blondie. It's Twix. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I guess. But I like being on a weird snack. Last year I was on Caramellos.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a weird
bar.
The candy bar.
Yeah, I love being like into a weird snack, but sometimes it just ends up being Twix or
The
Reese's.
wind changes in directions you can't control.
Right, and Twix is not fun. Although, let me say this about Twix.
Twix is utilitarian.
Yes,
Yeah.
but they don't. I think it might be old school now, though. I think Twix might be kind of old because I'm gonna tell you, they don't sell bulk Twix at the grocery store, right? Like they don't sell 6 packs of Twix at the same time like they do Reese's cups or like Hershey bars or any of that stuff. They don't sell those anymore. They only sell the fun size, and then you got to go, to the cash register. So I think maybe I'm still pretty hip with my snacks. Like Twix are old school people snacks. That's all.
You want to get hip to old people snacks? Join Team Rolla.
I hate shelling them, Brett. I hate shelling them. I would do it if you didn't have to take. I already get
That's
mad.
spacecraft material.
It's
that
so
they wrap
much,
them in.
dude. It's so much, and I guess like it's good because it makes you feel kind of guilty when you have like a big handful of caramel.
Wrappers, yeah. You're like, what have I done?
Yeah.
I don't like individually wrapped treats anymore. I don't like having to take them apart, So, thanks for letting me get that out, Hank. I really disappointed in myself, but what are you gonna do?
Well, same as always, I guess, right?
True.
I called you guys a little while back and talked about my workers' comp or my injury from my woodworking job. So I got a little update on that if you're curious.
Yeah,
Sort
go
of in
for
the
it.
middle of this whole thing.
Yeah, what's up?
All right, good. Yeah, so just a like recap for people who haven't heard it, but like I've been working a woodworking job since the summer, like a professional shop doing like fancy cutting boards and fancy shit, and learning a lot, like kind of like a apprentice, but not formal at all or anything. And making at first I was making $18.50 an hour for the first 6 months, which is just terrible. And I finally got bumped up to $22.50 an hour, which is also terrible, but better. And in the fall, my arm started to hurt, and I already had it. But by February of this year, I was wearing 2 elbow braces, and something was going on with my both elbows and both wrists. So finally, I let my bosses know. I was like, shit, I got this. Something's going on here. Like I'm changing my body position to pick up things, and it's all becoming dangerous and risky, and everything hurts. And like I'd go home with my hands numb. And so finally, I was like, I can't just. I'm done. I can't fucking work. I got to. I got to not do this every day. I come in here and I just make it worse. So the job has no benefits too. So like there's no paid time off or anything at all. I get a lot of free wood, which is pretty cool. That feeds my hoarding habit because I have a little workbench on my balcony. But anyway, so I wasn't sure how to deal with this. Like what am I supposed to do here? I got shitty California health insurance, and I didn't really understand the workers' comp situation at all. Or how that works. And it turns out actually it's a whole like different medical pipeline that they put you through. So because they're going to cover your insurance and they want you to go see doctors. And I didn't realize that. So I've committed to like a course of actually pursuing the workers' comp claim. I was all like anxiety ridden about it though. Like I was worried my bosses would be upset or mad, even though I'd like, fuck all these people. And it's terrible. Can you guys hear me? I've been talking. Everything went silent. I think I'm gone. Hello? I don't hear anybody. I think I'm gone. Shit. Chat can hear me. I can't hear anybody who speak. My audio just completely we're looking at things outside in the, far in the galaxy, it would be like a 50-year mission with a very, very fast machine and ships. And, but completely insane that we really could be able to take a picture of a planet down to a resolution of 25K, which is, oh, now they can hear me. All right. Hey, I was just doing my astronomy podcast there, guys, just talking. Welcome. I see the chat has responded. According to the Twitch research, it's looking like Brett is chill as fuck, which I got to admire. Got the arm up on the chair. Sean and Rax appear to be on their phones, which is absolutely, fine, great. They're checking in on the internet. Brian has gone off to collect leaves. He's off endangering his life because there's some really nice leaves near the highway for him to find. And he's a strong-willed man that cannot be stopped. Well, he can be actually, but quite easily. But welcome everybody. Yes, I was trying to explain this unbelievable new scientific. I don't know if it's called a discovery. It's a technology that we could use, but it'll take us about 100 or 200 years, and we're definitely going to cook the Earth into we're treating humanity basically like sea monkeys on a car dashboard. So it's unlikely we'll ever actually do anything super cool in space. But they did figure out. Actually, someone in the chat says, "Hank, tell us what you really think about Brett." I'll tell you what I think about Brett. I'll tell you what I think about that guy. I think he's fucking crazy for doing DoorDash. I think that's insane. You got a podcast, just write tweets. No, it's fine. Obviously I'm not judging. I did gig deliveries for quite a long time, in a couple of my years here in LA, and it's a nightmare. Parking is horrible. One time I had to go get a sushi order from this fancy place that Brad Pitt used to go to. That's everywhere in LA. And it took me over an hour to get the delivery. I had to go in and order. They didn't have all the items, so I had to call the guy, because when you're doing gig work, if there's a problem
Sure, I'll be able to get you up using the microphone, but we won't be able to get the phone for a second. Alright. Oh, God, I hate that program
Do you
so
have to like
much.
hold this thing down or something?
me from finishing that project, which is really annoying. So I think I'm still going to edit my halfway finished bookcase build TikTok series, because I've been trying to do like a video series called Bum Rush Industries, our YouTube channel called Bum Rush Industries, to sell my stuff. Hank is back on Twitch. All right, good. I've seen the chat. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I've moved on from space, and now we're talking about wood.
Oh, hey, what's
I'm
up,
telling you all about
everybody?
wood.
What?
Oh, I heard
What?
somebody.
Can we hear Hank now?
Hey,
Oh,
it's
hi.
Hank here. It's Hank.
Hear
Welcome
us
to Hank
speaking.
Fight Radio.
Podcast to
Hank?
hear me roar.
What's up?
We
weren't talking shit about
Okay,
you guys.
so Hank, we're gonna hang up on you because
Fine,
if he's
sure.
talking while we're
I'll call
talking,
next week.
that's a problem.
I remember exactly in the story where we were when we got cut off.
I can't hear you guys through the thing.
You
They
guys all
can
sound
hear
good to
all
me.
of us, but we can't hear Hank.
No, I think they're hearing Hank, aren't they?
No, they're hearing us
They're
too.
hearing us. Yeah, we're on.
Apparently, we're all.
And they
talking
said
the
it
same.
sounds good.
They're saying I can hear you through the phone queue audio.
All right.
Hank, we miss you, man.
Give me my hanky back, hanky back, hanky back. Give me my hanky back, hanky back, hanky back.
This is the Hank show now. We were talking about.
Okay,
calling
they
it
have
Hank Fight.
everybody,
Hank Fight Radio. Let's go.
and it sounds good. So let's just do a show.
The day that Hank got the show.
The
Yeah.
day that Hank drove Street Fight down.
Well, the chatters were singing.
Yeah. Okay, so Hank, be quiet.
Yes. Okay.
Hank fight. Yeah, Hank over. It's a big Hank over.
Y'all are cracking us up in the chat right now. All the Hank content. You're Hank posting. You're Hank posting in the chat.
Hashtag Hank Twitter.
We love Hank. Hank's a man. So yeah, man, I don't know if Hank's talking. Now I'm like sensitive. Can you mute Hank?
I can't. Oh, I could hang up on him.
Well, you don't have to hang
Looks
up. on
like-
well, you could.
That's hateful.
Looks like Hank's in
I
chat,
muted him.
honestly.
I
I
muted
think
them.
he's winners and losers in chat. So.
Big me. I put a
Hank!
mute. I put the mute on.
Hank.
More like
Okay,
winners.
Hank,
Yeah.
we're muting you so we can talk. And okay, now he says he's being quiet. Okay,
All right.
so Hank,
Quit taking up so much space,
Hank,
Hank.
shut
all
the
right?
fuck up.
There's a podcast to be done.
You got so many uncut minutes of radio to do.
I can mute him. What am I trying to think of? We got to talk about something.
Legos?
What?
Legos again?
Oh, you want to hear about Legos? Yeah,
No.
of course. I could talk about Legos all day.
We were talking about doing Lego car stunts just to have something on the camera for the people
Yeah.
still watching
Yeah.
the stream.
That would
Brent
be
was
cool.
thinking just fly the thing right off the table
Right,
and
that
see
was
what
the stunt.
happens, which is always the good move. You know?
Smash it up.
Yeah.
Oh, you muted Hank?
I did.
Okay, good. I went
Hank's
in to
really
see.
been. It's a
All
roller
right,
coaster ride.
here's
for
the
Frank
thing.
tonight.
We are extremely confused about what's happening right now. And as soon as we can hear, if we can take calls, we'll finish taking calls. But as of right now, we're just going to do a show, right?
Just now?
No.
No.
Well, I haven't muted.
We have never. Oh, yeah, unmute Hank.
Oh, Hank?
But now, yeah.
Hank.
Hello. I heard the beep.
Hello.
Come on.
Come on, Hank,
I'm
you're
here.
blowing it.
No dead
No,
air,
Hank.
Hank.
No, Hank.
Oh. We're just joshing you, Hank.
Hank. How do you like it? How do you like it?
Let's
you-
talk about Hank, baby.
About you and Hank.
Let's talk about all the good Hanks and the bad Hanks.
Oh,
that
man.
can be. Let's talk about Hank. Let's talk about.
Cool, guys.
We're having a real hanky-panky show.
It is.
Don't.
It's a Hank over.
Don't break my Hank.
Don't
Hank
break
over.
Hank, my
my
heart.
hanky panky Hank.
Unmute him.
They're on mute. Where's that?
Beep. Ooh, I heard the beep again.
Hank.
My man.
We hear Hank.
Thank God he's back.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do an extra like 20 minutes.
Hallelujah.
We're here, baby. We're here. Oh, wait, all right, Hank. We're sorry we screwed your call up.
You were telling us a story about
workman's
We
comp.
were on a cliffhanger.
So yeah, we need to know what you're getting paid for workman's comp.
I don't know that yet. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for putting up with all me. I tried to do my best to fill in a hurry, and I've done podcasting and shit since like 2009 or so. Since that's when I started stand up. So you might. Yeah. Anyway, I was glad to just
professional.
the old
That's right.
improviser chops.
Good man.
Anyway, yeah. I don't have any update. I'll call back. I'll keep you guys posted about this process because I assume other people are going to go through it because like it's fucked up to not be able to like use both your wrists or both your elbows. Like it's not a dire situation, but I can't put my weight on my wrists and everything, and like lifting up a coffee mug hurts. So it's like it's a legit kind of thing, man, and really debilitating in a way. So but I've been spending my free time, and then I'll get off the phone. I want to make some space for other people in the queue because I've had too much time. But I've been spending all my free time working on.
You vamped for us. We needed that.
We owe you big time.
We got to leave that in. By the way, Hank. I hope you didn't say anything embarrassing because I think we're gonna have to leave that in.
I talked about space and wood. Those are my two favorite things.
Oh, I'm sorry we missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
We got to listen to the Hank show.
Yeah. So, but what I've been doing with my free time is working really hard on my Young Turks union busting video that I mentioned a couple of months back. Since I was actually part of the crew at TYT that started that union. I was like in the ground floor. And so it's a whole crazy story that kind of like fell off the wayside because COVID was getting big. And the crazy thing about it is that very few union busting or unions come forward. Union organizing drives happen while the boss is a politician who's running for Congress. Although, just to be clear, we started it way before he became a politician, way before he ran for Congress, because that's a big detail. And as part of their union busting attempt, they completely made up a conspiracy, a total fucking lie that we were in, that the union was a plot by Jenks' congressional opponent, Christy Smith, which is just nuts, I've never heard of that before. And I just haven't, there's been a few articles written and a couple of videos. Most voices on the left have been pretty silent about it. Well, I'm sure for various reasons we can all figure out. But dude, they just fucking lied to their audience about that, smearing their own workers publicly. And that pisses me off. So I'm making a rad kick-ass video calling them out. It's essentially like a 30-minute documentary, and I'll be excited to share it with everybody when I'm finally done with it because I've been working my ass off on this stuff.
Be happy to boost
I just want to say, like, if you're a leftist with a little organization you got going on, Street Fight's got a little organization. We got a few people working for us and stuff. If they unionize, you just gotta let them.
You have to let them. You can't be the one.
I know. Unfortunately, the money is they're gonna need, it's gonna cost more money, but unfortunately, you gotta do it. You have backed yourself into the union corner.
Yeah. Growing pains.
Yeah.
It's called just business growing pains, really. Is that you're making a shitload of money, and now the people that are doing all the work are like, we should get more of that.
Yeah. And I'd be fine with it. I'd probably actually join the union. If our workers unionized, I'd be like, all right, well, can I get in there too, man? Y'all can't be making that much money.
I'm just in the union for dignity and respect for myself.
Oh, and I just want to be able to tell people I'm a union worker, because that's like can work out real good for you. People really love it.
People like you better.
Yes.
Yeah. They like me better.
And
That's
rightly so. I kind of like you better.
Yeah, I kind of like you better too.
Like the reputation cost. Like, you're a business that calls itself the home of progressives, and you're also, you've been telling a camera how important unions are for roughly 20 years. And who's going to go work at TYT? Mostly lefties, right? Liberals, conservative, or not liberals, lefties, leftists, whatever. Pick whatever word makes sense. So, like, of course, a union was going to form, especially with their, top-down management style, which is, right. I'm hoping to make it very clear why we needed a union, and that's a story that when they fired. So I got fired in January. The union came forward in February, all in 2020. So I kind of missed it all. Shit. What the fuck was I saying? No, wait, no, that's not it. Damn
Hank,
it.
it's been a traumatic call for you, so we understand.
Yeah, for sure.
You've been through a lot.
I need my blankie.
I have stuff to say about Cenk. I would say that he's first off corny as hell.
Oh yeah.
Second off, like he's kind of like part of this whole evil media apparatus. Sure, he's on like the left wing of like the sort of democratic media industrial complex thing, but he's well within it. And I think that him as like a Democrat operative type guy, the way that he reacted to you guys trying to form a union in his workplace as the boss, the way he reacted was to see it only in terms of some sort of political instrument that somebody could use. He doesn't understand, despite being a good progressive or whatever, that unions are not actually for like serving these political purposes. People, no matter how great of a boss you think you are, you know, want those fundamental rights and dignity and good pay in the workplace. Yeah. But libs like him can only ever see it as like, this is a plot. Why would they?
I would also say probably for him particularly, I have always felt like Kurtz. Who's the Kurtz guy? Howard Kurtz, right?
Colonel Kurtz.
I thought you meant Colonel Kurtz.
Colonel
from
Kurtz
Apocalypse Now.
Howard Kurtz from Starbucks, right? Like
Schultz, yeah.
Howard Schultz, that's what it is. I follow
His methods are unsound.
I follow this really horny guy on Twitter that it goes by Kurtz, and I always just think it's the very horny guy
Kurtz?
that I follow. Well, no, I know his full name. I don't want to say his full name.
He's like a sex guy?
I thought it was a sex guy who had like named himself after the evil colonel from
he
Heart of
thought that was
Darkness.
cool. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
He's in
women are with me, and afterwards they say
he's in Bismarck, in Bismarck, like North Dakota, and every time a girl posts like a semi-nude or something like that, he replies with the Forrest Gump. Going like this.
Boy, howdy. Wow. That is grim.
That is down bad, man.
Down bad behaved, down atrocious, sir.
But I would say if you're Howard Schultz, right?
Yeah.
Like they're unionizing on you, and it's business. That's like
Right.
business for you. If you're Cenk or whatever, however you say his name, if you're him, I don't know how you couldn't in your mind internalize it as a personal attack on you.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is probably why he reacted so shitty. Yeah. But before he reacted shitty to it, he should have like taken a beat and thought about what was going on, you know?
And how it's going to make you look. I mean, the optics of that entire situation, you lose all credibility in a second.
He has to be a narcissist of some sort to not be able to see that.
I also think a unionized workforce like gives a shit. Like these people fucking care. And, you know, it's one thing to be bringing in, you know, tens of thousands of dollars. Like the Young Turks was huge fucking way bigger than anything that is just some DIY podcast. They were making a lot of moves, and yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't just give into that. Yeah, people care.
Yeah, it just means that they don't want to just bail on your office for another job that doesn't pay very well and doesn't treat them well. Like they want it to be better there so they can stay.
Right. It's like, I believe in this. I want to do this, but like, am I going to buy a house off this? And like, am I going to pay for my health care too much? Like, what are all the pains of committing to this thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, but that again is also like sort of, I mean, if you're transparent about the money that's coming in and how you pay for it, I mean, yeah, they want health insurance, but like you can show them, if you show them the money coming in and how much you're spending to keep this thing running, I don't know anybody that wouldn't just be like, okay, but as soon as you can get us health insurance, please do so.
But if it looks like you're just kind of holding on to it or paying yourself more or just using it in a... Like, people who care about this stuff are going to want to give themselves to it if they can. If they can get health insurance by doing it, they should.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Hank, tell us where to find you.
Yes.
And we will talk to you next week.
Yeah, I'll get back to you. Hank_Thompson on Twitter. I have my podcast is called Winners and Losers on all the iTunes and all that other shit. But I haven't done it in a little while. Honestly, I've been just completely out of it last couple of years. So there's only a couple episodes, but there is one long one about the union from last fall, and I'm wanting to get back into the hunt for glory behind the microphone, but it hasn't been in the works for me lately. But this, this video I'm hoping will reach people like you guys. Actually, I got to say how nice it is to hear you guys talking about this, even though you haven't seen what the video and maybe you don't know the whole story yet, but it's such a lonely thing to just sort of see this all stuff go down when you had an insider's perspective. And man, it's really nice to hear that. So it's really encouraging. And part of the video too is like it's anti-capitalist messaging too. I'm trying to like hit on the bigger themes and stuff. So
Well, thanks.
yeah, and there's
Thank
more
you
than
for
the money.
your
The audience would have funded the union if they needed extra money, which the money wasn't the issue, by the way.
That is also
The
true,
guy
yeah.
Jenks sold a book 3 years ago, and he's done all sorts of fundraising drives for things that didn't seem to materialize. So but the audience would have turned up if he said, we're a union shop now, we need our audience support. Instead, he's going to be chased around by the union busting label his entire career.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
As he
whoops.
should be.
And again,
Rightly so.
And again,
Yeah.
I think he saw it as a personal attack. I don't even know if it was some kind of he's too cheap to pay for stuff or anything like that. I think he very likely saw it as like they're coming after me now, and the leftists turned on me. Like
I'm getting canceled by the woke mob. He's trying to unionize my company.
Yeah, like Bill Maher, how he gets like really mad at the left, and like he just complains about cancel culture all the time, even though he's on TV every week. And like a lot of people have turned almost right wing. Glenn Greenwald. There's just all these people that have almost turned right wing because they feel like when leftists say something about them or critique their stuff, or when they even make fun of them, because like I'm not critiquing anything any of these guys do. I'm too fucking stupid. But I will like say a funny joke making fun of them, and they take that as like this big personal response.
That somebody can actually talk back to them is like the worst thing. And that's part of, I think, what bosses, including Cenk, also, it's not just the money and it's not just the benefits. They also don't want to cede any little bit of power over the production of whatever the fuck it is they produce. Whether it's like a building foundation or whether it's like TYT, if all of a sudden now he couldn't say, all right, we're working straight for 12 hours now. We got a big show. Let's get this done. If there was somebody, like shop steward, that was like, yeah, actually, we don't care about how busy you are or how far behind you are. We're owed a break now, a break here, this, that, and the other. Catered food, so we don't have to go somewhere, blah, blah, blah. People who are like these powerful, narcissistic, small business tyrants, as you guys talk about all the time, just having someone check their ultimate power to do what they want in the workplace is almost worse than having to pay somebody like $3 more an hour.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean
that's what they're all showing right now.
And
I mean, they'll spend so much money to not just pay people more.
Yeah,
and it's these guys that like they're doing the, like they're doing their dream job because they're broadcasters, but the people running the cameras and the people that, that's not everybody's dream job. And you shouldn't do your dream job for free either.
Right.
It's a job. All right. Next call.
Yep, thanks for calling
we
Straight
love
Fight.
you, Hank.
Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, this is Monica. Am I on the air?
You're on the air. Did you say Monica or
Awesome.
Monican?
No, Monican with an N at the end. It's from the old Aeon Flux cartoon back in the 90s. I don't know if you guys ever saw that. But
horny cartoon,
yeah,
bro.
Liquid
horny,
TV,
horny,
MTV.
horny. Yeah. The movie. I watched the movie during the pandemic, the one with Charlize Theron.
That's a banger of a movie,
Yeah.
as I recall.
Is it really?
It bangs.
Really?
It's just very weird. It's super weird if you're a guy that, like, I never watched any, it's like this is bad for me to say, but like anything that's animated that's not already something I know, I'm never going to watch it.
No, me
I'm kind of
too.
with you on that, bro, honestly. I knew what you were going to say.
Yeah, me
and you were
too.
afraid to piss off all the anime people out there. But you know what? I've been doing it for years. They can't touch me.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Monica?
Yeah. Anyway, in that show, the anarchists live in the city called Monica, and they're called the Monicans. Anyway, I wanted to call in and I wanted to thank a caller who you had on the show about a month and a half ago. You had someone call in who's an assistant manager at an apartment building in the Pacific Northwest, and they were saying that their system just sent out all these rent increases to everybody, but they were saying that people should actually try and like bargain with the building because I think they were saying that like they hope that nobody pushes back, but anybody who does push back, they'll like make a deal with them. And anyway, my roommate and I, we heard that on your show, and we were given this rent increase, and we thought, hey, why don't we ask the leasing office if they can just not do that so much? Anyway, I sent them an email, and I was like, hey, here's all the things that like didn't work in our apartment for like a year. Can you please not give us so much of a rent increase? And they came back and they gave us half of what we asked for. So we got the increase cut by half, which saves us more than $500. And so I just wanted to say thanks to that caller.
Beast. Yeah, it was Bobby from
Bobby,
Seattle. Yeah, he's working as a assistant manager for a apartment complex, so he can learn how it works.
Yeah.
That's
noble.
Nice.
He's a fun guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna take over.
You know what's funny? When he was describing the building that he works in, and he was describing the building across the streets, I'm certain that I live in that building across the streets. So I live like 100 feet away from Bobby.
I gotta say though, I mean, congratulations. Did you just do this through email? Like, did you email them back, or did you have to talk to somebody face to face?
In the past, I've talked with them face to face a lot, so they know who I am. But I did this by email because I wanted to include a numbered list of things that, like I said, stuff that didn't work in our apartment for a long time. To kind of make my case that, you know, hey, you sold us like 80% of what was advertised. We should not be having to get our rent jacked up by so much.
Yeah, and email's probably much easier because I've talked about this on the show. I don't haggle. And when I say I don't haggle,
that's shocking to me because I haggle.
I don't haggle.
I can't even haggle. I went to New York though. I visited New York a few times, and there was this woman that used to live in Columbus that moved to New York, and she haggled with fucking everybody on the street. Like, and I think it's like a thing. Once you live there, you see other people do it. But I have never gone to buy a car and said, can I have it for just a little bit cheaper? I just take exactly what they say, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll take it.
Don't pay the amount of money
I'm scared.
some guy says you have to pay.
I'm just scared. I'm like afraid to do it. So emailing with your landlord, which I can't do. My landlord and I are buddies. Sometimes listening to the show.
Bad luck.
But I can't do it. I can't like haggle with him. But like if I went to move into another apartment, I still don't think, even if I was going up against like a big rental agency, I don't know how people do the part where they're like, this is how much I want to spend.
Oh, that's the best part. That's the best. I do this on my rent every year. When I got the apartment, I like figured out that there was some kind of vacate order on part of it. It was just an old job that had never got signed off, but I'd latched onto it, and I was like, you're trying to charge me such and such per month, but here's this thing happening. I'm going to pay the lesser number. And they were just like, yes, okay. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell your neighbors. And then I told all my neighbors because, you know, why not?
See, the thing about rent regulation, because I'm under a rent-regulated apartment, is it takes all the negotiation out of it. It's like being in a union, you know? Like, I go to work, and they got to pay me the wage. I don't talk them up. They don't talk me down. It's just kind of, like, predictable, you know? So negotiation's very unpredictable to me. Maybe that's why it's fun.
But it's also one of those things where people aren't accustomed to it, or they can't do it the right way, or like you use a lot of cuss words, or you're too passionate.
Sure.
But it is really is an excuse. Like, you have to learn how to use business casual language and point out every single little way that they're wrong. Like, you already know what it is. You just have to put it in writing in a list, and then say, I'm not interested in paying this amount. And then they kind of, you know, they have to address those things, or ignore them and just be like, all right, $20.
I did yesterday. I pulled a big Brian. I bought a Brian yesterday, if you want to hear. I went to the plant store.
Oh, hey.
To get my wife a snake plant for Mother's Day. She
Great
loves
plant.
plants.
She's got a snake
And I
plant.
got 2 ferns, too. I got a snake plant and 2 ferns. I carried them home. That's not the part of the story that's true, or that is a problem.
That is not a snake
I didn't know there was
plant.
two truths and a lie.
I will say that I went in there, And I basically was like, what's the most expensive plant? And just bought the most expensive plant.
No
there.
way.
Yeah, I swear to you, dude. I paid $60 for it. For a plant.
For one?
One snake plant.
Sounds
was
like an
$60.
incredible plant.
I walked
That's a
out
big
of there
snake.
with a
That's a huge
snake
snake.
plant, and I walked out of there with 2 ferns, 123.
Wow.
That was the whole
How
thing.
big
so
is
bad
this
with
snake
money.
plant?
I'm so
They
stupid.
get pretty big. So
Yeah.
We saw the one at the Botanic Garden the other day.
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
a
a big
snake plant that was
snake
like
plant.
8 feet tall, dude.
Yeah,
they grow
we got
big.
it like that big.
Be careful. Okay.
Yeah, but I just, you know, when I buy my cell phones, I go in and I want the iPhone. I just say that.
Yeah.
But when smartphones first started, I went to the T-Mobile store and the guy was like, "So what are you looking for?" And I was like, "What's the most expensive phone here?" I just bought that. Like, I have this belief that expensive is always good, and I never haggle, which is. I should try it one time.
You should try it one time.
Yeah.
Do it like not on your rent because your landlord's your buddy, but some low stakes. My dad used to haggle at the fast food place. It was humiliating.
I did it at the oil change place. I was like, "Is there any coupons going around?" And he was like, "Yeah, there's a coupon going around." And then I saved $20.
It can be as easy as
$20
that.
bill in my pocket, and off shoes too. I was at Famous Footwear.
No way.
The guy was by himself. I'm like, "You're here all by yourself?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "God damn, man, they really like left you all alone." He's like, "I know, man. You're telling me." And then I'm like, "Are there any coupons going around?" And he was like, "There's some coupons."
Sure, yeah.
Wait, is this a magic?
Is this a hack?
That's all you have to do.
just
It
have
can
to
be
ask.
haggling.
Is there any coupon? Is
They
that
know
all you
a
gotta
code.
say?
Yeah, they just put a code into the machine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
go to
cool.
pay my electrical bill. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, is there a coupon going?"
There sometimes are though, which is
Yeah.
sick. I mean, but Con Ed does have like coupons and
It's
shit.
like-
Now that you
sometimes.
mention it, electricity is free.
Here's the thing. Some extreme couponer or somebody on an email list is getting a special code that gives $15 off the shoes. I can go
yeah.
outside in front of the store right now and Google it and come in with it and print it out or whatever you need. Just give it to you. already know what it is.
Just give it to me.
AH2XY. Just put it in there and give
Yeah.
me 15 off. They don't know whether the code came from my email. They don't know where it came from. Everybody else here can pay regular price.
There's a certain amount of money that pretty much everyone is authorized
Oh, yeah.
to just give you to make you go
Oh, yeah.
away. And it
Yeah.
can be very low, but it's great to get.
That's all. Yeah, exactly. And I had this. Yeah, the same thing was like when I did collections, when I did customer service, it was like, hey, I mean, you're a nice person. If you ask $20, I can just give $20. I mean, they tell me that it's supposed to be hard to like promo your account, but you made it easy because I like you.
Yeah.
That's genius, though. I never thought of is there a coupon? Like, that is just because I had
That's a way out of your dilemma here.
Yeah.
You're
I-
negotiating
It
dilemma.
becomes
That's
just
true.
like a casual little question at
Yeah.
that point instead of a haggling situation.
I grew up with a guy that would haggle at Chess King, which is like a store in the mall to buy clothes.
They don't
And-
do that.
Yeah, they did though. He talked
Tight.
them down, and I remember he fucking talked. Who else did he? I was at the flea market with this guy with my friend's dad, and fucking the guy. He was like, "How much is that?" The guy would be like, $13, and then he would just be like 10, and they're like, all right. Like, he just said it and I think that might be why I'm so scared, because he said it and he would just stay. He's like this big Greek dude, and he was just like 10, and the guy would be like, all right.
Yeah, then it's like an intimidation racket.
I need to become intimidating, then maybe, because I think I'm thinking like that guy, right? Like he wasn't bullying or anything. It was just he said 10, and then motherfuckers.
He's big dicking you in your place of employment. That's a little fucked up. Okay, I see it now. Yeah, I don't want to big dick people in their homes or whatever. I just want a little bit of a discount on the shitty thing you're selling me.
Right.
Discounts.
If they don't, I'll choke their skinny little necks.
No, I'll just buy it anyway because I'm a tool.
Sorry to extend this, but Brian, you did not explain what you got bullied into doing by the cashier.
Oh God, I'm losing my mind on this. So I'm walking, okay, to the plant store. It is a quarter mile to my house. That is not a long walk. It's fine. I buy a snake plant in a big ceramic pot, and they pot it for me in the big ceramic pot. And now I'm already carrying that home, okay? A quarter mile. And then the guy's like, I'm like, do you guys have ferns? And he's like, yeah. So I'm like, I'll buy a fern. I'm like, dude, go get me a fern. I'll carry the fern and the pot in my hand. He was like, oh, the ferns are buy one, get one free. And I was like, I went like this. I don't want another fern. And he was like, yes, you do. You got to do it. Well, you're just throwing money away if you don't get a second fern. So I got 2 ferns. And it was buy one, get one free. So the fern was free. But this guy could not stand the thought of me.
That you were just going to waste it. You were just going to
You would have been so mad at yourself, though. You would have got home and then thought about that second fern you could have had.
Did he think that he had to throw it in the trash if you didn't get it or something? It's a waste of
That's
fern.
a waste. Spikes it into the ground.
Starts stomping on it.
Yeah, it was so funny.
All right. Sorry.
Hey, I just have a real quick question. If I can take myself off after this, but I was wondering, do you guys still check your PO box?
No.
You can say, could they send it here?
Okay.
Yeah, well, we have to get a new PO box. I let it lapse because I had depression real bad, but I took pills like 2 weeks ago and I feel better, so it'll change.
We're fixing it. We're gonna fix it.
No PO box right now.
Okay. Anyway,
All
thanks for taking my call, you guys. Have a good night.
Thanks for calling. We appreciate it. Have a good night. All right.
Last one.
This is it? This is the last call?
Last call, yeah.
Last call.
Oh, wait, someone else just jump in. We do have one.
No, we got to jump in. That's fine. We still got 12 minutes, and we had that part in the middle where Hank was hosting for us.
The Hank show. Oh, I miss Hank.
Hey, thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Hey, this is Tristan. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, what's up, Tristan?
Hey, I feel like you guys have given me an uphill battle due to the Exterminator last week, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about exterminating. And
you were an
organizing
exterminator?
in the Philly area. I was.
See, this guy called last week. Hold on one second, Tristan. I gotta tell him.
Yeah, please.
This guy called. It's the best call we've ever had in like 5 years. He's a fucking exterminator in Arizona and Las Vegas. So he's fighting in big fucking bugs.
Jesus Christ.
So I fucked up while he was on. I go like, what's the best case scenario for an exterminator? Like, you're gonna walk into this house. I mean, obviously the best case is nothing, right? Sure. So I go like this. The best case scenario for you probably going into a house is bed bugs, right? And the whole next week, people are like, bed bugs is like a worst case scenario.
It is the worst possible
It is really
thing to
bad.
get. Much rather see a cockroach running by. You don't have to throw out all your bugs.
Yeah, bed bugs have signs on the side of the freeway.
Yeah.
Like, it's that big of a problem.
I just thought, like, running into a mouse or a rat sounds like the scariest shit that's ever happened in the whole world.
It's cohabitation.
I'm the guy that says, like, I'm not afraid of any animal that I can step on and kill. I'm like not afraid of that shit, but I just couldn't step on a mouse or a rat. Jason had one as a pet. Growing up, we had rats. Yeah. We had rats and shit. It was
Rats
just
are great
really
pets.
nice. Yeah. So you did it in Philly, which probably isn't like scorpions and stuff, right, Tristan?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah, I worked for an exterminating company for a little over 4 years until I got fired for trying to organize there.
Oh. Was it Orkin? Can I ask if it was Orkin? I just need
No, it was a little small one. I don't even care about throwing out their name. It was Lethal Pest Solutions. It was a small business tyrant.
Lethal
Pest Solutions.
Lethal against workers' rights, apparently.
Lethal worker solutions.
But,
that is a brutal
name.
They usually try to hide the we're killing stuff in their name, right?
Yeah. Executors, pest
LLC. But that was a pretty brutal small business tyrant. And then it was being transitioned over to his failed daughter while I worked there. So I didn't last long when she started taking the reins more. But I work for a union vendor now, so I'm doing better. But this past week, I was trying to figure out what I can do to get organized, obviously. I went to a meeting down in the city for the Socialist Alternative. It's a party that was started in Seattle, I believe, and now they have branches across the country. I want to work with them in the future. I don't know where that will go. They're saying all the right things. They're very anti-imperialist. They understand like a totalizing view of healthcare, workers' rights, etc. But it's a bunch of kids and nerds right now, and I want to get some workers in there. So what I wanted to do to reach out to anyone in the Philly area who listens to Street Fight is I was actually trying to, or hoping to organize like free bed bug treatments for people like every other weekend. Because the big thing about that is when you treat, you need to be out of the house for 4 hours. And if we can provide people with something to do or make that experience easier, it's usually some of the worst days of people's lives. It really shatters a person or a suburban person's sense of self.
Yeah, nice
so if anyone wants to get involved, yeah,
it'd be nice to
reach out to me on Twitter.
So they could trip for 6 hours. Just totally get out of it. Just take a break.
If I'm working, right? I don't know if Lethal can afford to do this, but if I'm working, you know what I do? I just get a block of hotel rooms in town, and I charge so much more for my extermination services, but
free hotel.
You get to stay in a hotel overnight, and it has a pool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That'll go a long way, the pool.
Continental breakfast. Throw a Danish in there.
I've been seeing around town, right? There's these parking lots where you fucking park your car there, and then somebody comes and picks up your car and gets an oil change and washes it, and then brings it back to the parking spot. Whoa. This is downtown shit, so like they're there for 8 fucking hours, dude. That's why Exterminator / hotel business is a fucking money.
Yeah.
It's a fucking ton of money.
And if you want to make the real money, then you get the hotel rooms and you like financialize them and get hotel room derivatives and then use that to fund more of your pest company and then buy a bunch of stuff on margin using the equity of that. Pretty soon you'll be the richest man in America.
I saw a shit. I just lost my train of thought. I did see.
You were thinking about all that sweet money.
I watched a preacher today that was naming apps and stuff because he wanted church to be an app. He was like, we got all these apps on your phone, man. Waze, he goes through, explains what Waze is. He explains what podcast app, all the apps.
It's like,
so
what about a Waze or like a map thing that brings you to the way of Christ?
Well, no, he's saying like, these are fucking great, dude. And then he goes into this thing where he's like talking about the Airbnb app. And he was like, it's a hotel app, but they don't own any property. He's like, Uber, cab company, they don't own a single car. And he's like naming all that. And then it rules because he goes right into this part. Now we have to do that with the church and with Jesus Christ.
Right, that's the way. Everything's moving.
I don't know what he meant by that, but
we have to just do that.
Fascinated by what the fuck that means.
So immediately after he says that, his computer crashes on stage and he doesn't know what to fucking say because he was reading it off of a fucking thing.
Oh God.
So like then he's sitting there like, just give me 1 second. My computer's fucking rebooting. This kind of stuff happens. But he had just spent time before that saying like, we gotta get apps.
Yeah. Technology is the future.
I felt like he was saying like, because the other thing he brought up was virtual reality concerts. He's saying, people out there now are going to concerts in virtual reality. They don't even have to leave their house.
We're back to the metaverse. You just create a Christian metaverse where there's no sin.
They must have already made church. They made a fucking metaverse bar, and it was the grimmest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I remember hearing
and like the metaverse concerts all look super grim. So I'm looking forward to how grim church can get because it's pretty bad already.
Maybe if there was like a price shopping app where you could say how much tithes you have, and that would get you access to different sermons from like different preachers.
Like Reddit
they
gold.
were price bidding,
I want the bespoke sermons.
Yeah, but you get 1 hour of preaching or condemnation or whatever you're looking for.
He just wanted. He wanted church without real estate. That's what he's going into,
Church without real estate.
Church, but they don't have to own the. Okay.
I hate paying the bills. I hate paying this damn mortgage. So the Lord is killing me with this
dude, what he's trying to say is he's basically going to be taking a piece out of the collection basket of like preachers all over the country by getting them to preach for free on his app or something. That's kind of brilliant.
He's going to set up the Etsy for like televangelists. Set up the platform for televangelists to collect money and skim off the top.
This guy was so thrilled with himself though, he is just telling you.
Show.
He used to run a thing called Teen Mania.
No, thank you.
But now he's like 50, and I think he's still running Teen Mania.
50 is too old to be involved with something called Teen Mania in any capacity. You gotta let that go.
I gotta let it go.
That's something I gotta put out there, actually, and to people that are listening to the show. A hip or heavy metal or punk rock pastor is something that I'm really in the market for. I'm having a lot of trouble finding them because when you Google like hip youth pastor, it's all sex crimes,
Teen Mania,
or embezzlement money, or it's just or racism. They'll do some racist stuff, or the pastor's like sleeping with somebody else. I posted a screenshot of a headline that said some of the parishioners walked into a room at the church, and the pastor and a woman that he's not married to were standing around with towels wrapped around them.
Whoa.
And they were like, what's the deal going on here? And he was like, we got chili on our clothes. We were making chili.
Get the fuck out of my face.
That's such a crappy
I would have said Adam and Eve. I would have went with something more biblical.
It was a reenactment of the book of Genesis. We were starting at the very beginning.
Yeah.
We got chili on us.
Chili just splatted everywhere.
It's so hilarious.
Listen,
That's a loose end
she
right
was
there.
Mary Magdalene, and I was Jesus, and we're going through that.
Chili. Who even says they spilled chili on themselves?
Why were they eating chili?
I mean, if I wear pink shirt, if you wear pink shirts and stuff, and you put a bowl of chili down like too hard, like it'll kind of send some spatter off the sides.
How hard would it have been to get over both of them, though? They're having a chili fight.
How is it less weird that they were just eating chili alone in church?
Towels.
That story doesn't make it that much better, I don't think.
It's like, what were you doing? Were you eating chili together?
Just together alone.
Love to bring the crock pot in the morning and just bring it up to the altar and set it and make a nice chili, all day.
That's just, there's no situation in which any of that is a sensible way for them to behave.
Yeah.
Like, you can't convince me that was normal.
Just pounding chili out of the chalice and shit. What the fuck?
I think it feels like a lot of times, because now that I've done like I'm doing my second season of a show about mega pastors with Tom Sexton from the Trillbillies.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the second season, and I've done episodes in between. We've done a lot of episodes kind of in between. And the thing I've learned now is you think they're like con men sort of thing. They're all bad at lying, dude. They get caught, and they don't fucking know what to say because a lot of them they think they're untouchable. Right. Like a Jesse Duplantis. It's like those charismatic prosperity gospel people. They're like, you can't fucking.
They're also used to like being able to rehearse their lies and like set them up well in advance. If you get caught like naked, you just say the first thing that comes to your head about chili.
Chili.
Yeah. Sorry about that. We took you off.
Hello?
Yeah. What's up, Tristan?
I'm still here, guys. First, you fearmonger about bed bug treatments, which are really simple and easy to do, and now you're giving all these people awful business ideas that are going to exploit everyone. You're really working against the project, guys. I got to ding you for that.
Best business idea guys out there. I think all the ideas I just had are $1 billion. This is like people told Elon Musk that his dad wouldn't be rich and then help him start an electric car company. But I'm sure somebody told Jeff Bezos. Like, if you had told Jeff Bezos 20 years ago that he was going to be like the worst guy in the world, he would have never believed that. He would have just thought, man, I'm selling books, dude.
I listened to a little history on him, and he's kind of always been a giant psychopath about statistics and shit. So
cool.
That tracks.
But anyway, I just want to finish my point here. I think, like the guy was talking about last week, doing bed bug treatment should be a service, and I think it's a great way to possibly connect with people in the community. I'm going to be at a march in the city next weekend. If anyone wants to meet up and talk about this and what we could do for providing community bed bug treatments, you can hit me up on Twitter at Tristan_TheLost. And reach out to the Philly Socialist Alternative. At least they're trying to do something here, man. I definitely can't put any weight behind the Democrats.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brother, me neither. Me
Love it.
neither. Well, thanks for calling, Tristan.
Appreciate
I
it.
hope to see you. We hope to be in Philly sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Get your asses out here, guys. I want to activate your audience more. I need to yell at them in person, though.
Yes.
All right, thanks for calling. That is
speed round. We had a few jump ins.
We could do two. Do we got two or two?
We got three.
Okay, hang up on the last one. I know it's not. Actually, fuck it. We'll do all three. Let's do it. But you have to be speed round, okay? You have to be speed round about this.
We're in overtime, so we're getting paid time and a half right now for doing this.
If you guys need a ride instead of a lift, I will take you.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. In that case, 3 calls. Let's go.
All right. Let's make it happen. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Keep it quick tonight.
Hi, is this me?
Yeah. Is this Nick?
Oh, cool. Hi, yeah. Hi. My name's Eamon. I live in this town called La Habra, California. It's like the northernmost part of Orange County. It's a real fucking shithole. Okay. Just wanted to say I'm a big fan of you guys, big fan of Sean. Just wanted some advice. I'm a steward for the shop I work at. I work for the state. I'm a locksmith, and I want us to try to get hazard pay. We don't get hazard pay for the department I work for, and I'm wondering what's the best way I can kind of because all the guys there are kind of beaten down. I want to agitate them to kind of do something so we can try to get hazard pay on the block for our union.
So you're the steward. Do you guys have a grievance process?
We do, but working for the state, they find fun ways to lose the forms and try to ignore you. So it's yeah.
I think that you're going to have to maybe go past form, it sounds like, and go to and try to get somebody in person. Because if your union is so beaten down that the grievance process doesn't work anymore, that's a problem in itself. In terms of getting what you're talking about is, I guess, a revision to the next contract. Are you in touch with the delegates? I mean, could you get your shop, for example, to all come together and present something to the delegates, so when the contract comes up next, maybe they can try to include that?
See, that's the hard part, because we get these forms when the contract is up saying, what do you guys want? And we list. I always tell the guys, I advise we should try for hazard pay. I work at a mental hospital, right? And so in California, if you work in a prison, you get hazard pay. If you work in a mental hospital with people who are violent, you don't, because technically it's a hospital. We don't get boot allowances either, which is fucking stupid.
Oh, for boot? Yeah. I didn't get those, but they would take it out of your check. So they would be like, you can make.
Yeah, they don't even offer that for us. Yeah. Yeah, and I walk around in blood and. Oh, go on.
Yeah, they're like, you can make 4 payments on the boots if you want them at Red Wing. That's the only place you could get it done to. So the boots are all $250.
Yeah, sure. No, that's great.
You can't go cheap.
I got boot allowance once when I worked in a factory for the steel tips, and sure as I hauled it, I go fucking Red Wings. I didn't go the cheapo Walmart ones.
Yeah.
No steers.
Yeah, I just bought a pair of Wolverines, and they're great, but just so I walk around in blood and piss and shit and all kinds of fluids, not to be gross, but just it would be nice if you guys gave it to us. And I try to get the guys to let's do this, but again, working for the state, it's once you're in, you got your benefits, you wait 25 years and you just kind of give the finger and leave. No one really agitates, except for me, because I'm the young guy,
Well, you're the young guy and you're the shoppy too. So, I mean, maybe if it's difficult for you to mobilize your shop, as individuals, you might just have to step up. You might just have to start making a fuss. You might have to start making some calls and getting in some faces and laying down the law, because it doesn't sound like, you have much backup here. So become the squeaky wheel, man.
Yeah.
If you have the grit and determination, and this is a true problem, several problems you described, then you might just have to be the guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Good luck. I mean,
and
I hope
also as a. Sorry.
I hope you have the fortitude to be the squeaky wheel. Good luck with that.
It's tough. It's tough.
No, it is. But I mean, again, I'm the only locksmith at my location, so everyone has to see me all the time to make sure shit's up to code and I pin the right locks and stuff. And so I'm kind of important, but important for the work part, not for the agitation part. But I mean, life's short. Fuck it, I'll call the.
You do get in contact with probably more people than others because you're at the center of this node. So that's actually a good position to be in if you can, keep talking to a lot of people from a lot of different places.
yeah, the nicest part is like since I'm the only one, I can say no, and I felt that I have a lot more power, whatever that means in terms of my job, where I can say no, I'm not going to do that, and all that kind of stuff. And I show off my nice, Union Steward belt buckle that says American Labor on it. So I point to that. I'm like, you can look at that. All right, I don't want to take your time up. You guys have a great night. Love you all.
Appreciate it. Thanks for calling.
Thanks.
No problem.
All right. Thanks for calling Street Fighter. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, what's up? It's Lermy.
Lermy, what's up? It's Lermworm. Lermy's the best.
Oh, thanks, guys. Well, you were talking about the Everything All at Once movie. I haven't seen the movie, so please don't talk about it yet. But I just wanted to mention that those guys, the Daniels, they're also responsible for that the Turn Down for What video. If you remember that,
I do.
It's like a really
With
a really
Lil
cool
Jon?
music video. Yeah. Yeah, it's like this. It's actually starring one of the Daniels. I think his name's Daniel Kwan, and he's like dancing to the song very provocatively, and he like busts through the floor of this apartment and like starts partying with the people in the apartment below, and it becomes this raucous scene.
That's fucking really cool.
That is really cool.
The Daniels.
It's like a really cool music video.
Yeah,
So
I'm
a
looking.
fan of them just for that.
It's not what I pictured, so it looks pretty cool. Yeah. That's fresh.
But what I really called in about was I wanted to talk about a very evil small business tyrant that I had to deal with recently.
Let's hear it.
So at the beginning of the year, I was like looking for jobs because unemployment was like over, and I was feeling like, oh, I guess I should get a job, like maybe this art thing's, feeling stressed about money basically.
Yeah.
Applying for jobs, and I found this interesting gig at like a book bindery. So like repairing old books and like binding new books together and making like fancy boxes and stuff like that, which is like something I wanted to learn how to do. And so I applied for it. It sounded like pretty legit on the listing. But yeah, I get there and it's like this fucking guy, Jim, basically runs the company, and it's like a couple of students at like the local prestigious art university are the employees. So they're like young kids. And but basically this guy is like a total psycho. He's like has major anger problems, which like on the interview I was definitely getting like a vibe like this guy's kind of whack. And he also literally said in the interview like I just had like quadruple bypass surgery, which like I felt like should have been like, whoa, dude, you can tell he's like too stressed out because he's fucking pissed off every single day about everything.
Yeah, that's how some people learn to get things done, is just be super fucking angry about it.
Right.
I could not believe, I don't know. I was like, okay, this is weird. Like, let's see how it goes. But I have never in my life met someone who acts as crazy as this guy, who's like, oh, it was just like it's like his business, and he's like everything about running a business makes him fly off the handle. Like the fucking phone thing. He'd be like in the middle of doing something, and he'd be like, fuck, what do they fucking want from me? And I'm like, I answer the phone. He doesn't even answer the phone. Like, why are you yelling? You like don't have to do that at all, dude.
Like, don't have a business if you don't want to talk to the people who want to use your business.
Don't work at a place with customers. Anybody who's ever had a job in the history of the world knows you don't want to be in front of customers. So don't start a fucking business where you might be facing customers.
How does somebody who hates everything about a small business end up running his own small business? It's fucked up, man.
It's a smart decision, but I hate it. I hate every minute of it.
You could just be a worker.
And he was so bad at it too. He like sucked at it. Like his prices were so way too low for like the stuff that we had to do, and like it just seemed like he was like really bad at running a business. So I was like, okay, this is crazy. And like most of the days a week, it was like just me with him. So he's like, just like flying off the handle about like fucking everything. And also part of the other thing he said in the interview was like, oh, actually, like my style is that I like don't train you and I don't tell you how to do something. I basically will just hope that you do it right, and if it's not right, you have to fix it. And I was like, okay, that sounds kind of fucked up, but
classic management style.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what to do and hope you figure it out style.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
He just tells you that right away. He's like, yeah, that's kind of my style. And he basically was like talking shit about like every single person he's ever worked with, and like was like, yeah, I used to teach at the college, but like, you know, they like wanted me to be like this and like change who I am or whatever, and like all these people are idiots except for me.
Oh god.
Type of guy.
Yeah, classic.
Boy.
Oh, it was so crazy. And I was like, how is anyone working for him? Because the other two people who worked there, yeah, they were like young, like RISD students, and they just basically like quietly like listened to him go on and on. The only thing that would make him, I would try to start a conversation with him about bands that he liked and like saw in the 70s or whatever, because that's like the only thing he like wanted to talk about. That wasn't like
That's a real type of guy.
so depressing and annoying. Yeah.
Yeah. Bad Company. Was it Bad Company you had to talk to him about? Because that's something I could talk about.
A lot, so much shit. He'd be like, yeah, we used to like, you know, talking about all the concerts he went to, like we saw so-and-so, whatever. So stupid.
Saying you saw a dead artist, though, does kind of rip. Like, when I tell people I saw Pantera, it's like, you'll never see Pantera.
I mean, I gotta say, one of my secrets to life is letting old guys go off about like the best concert they ever saw.
It's all they want to talk about. Once they see a great concert, they like file it away in their memory as I want someone to ask me about this so bad.
Hopefully someone 20 to 25 years
Right.
younger than me.
Give me a reason.
Really cool.
Mention music.
Yeah.
Just mention music.
Yeah, like I don't mind hearing about it. I was kind of like, this is so much more pleasurable than hearing him talk about literally anything else.
Right, it's how
and
you
like
tame
I'd rather
them.
him. It like made him like me. So I was like, it seems like you want him to like you at least. So
right.
Well, you want him off your ass at the
we'll
least.
just try this method.
I mean, me and Brian also
But,
have
yeah,
the thing of like saying like, oh, the last concert I went to was actually the best one I've ever seen in my life. But those guys like pick one and they're like, fuck. I saw Bonham with Led Zeppelin. I'm never going to see a better concert ever. There's not one doesn't exist.
My favorite sentence to hear after a concert is as you're walking out, somebody telling their friends, that's a good concert, but I saw him like 2 years ago, and that's actually the really best concert.
Yeah.
We went to a Ween concert, and I heard a guy walking behind me like, that was an excellent Ween concert, but 2 years ago was the best Ween
Like
concert.
he's an archivist.
He's been waiting to say that around a bunch of people for 2 years since the last time.
Yeah, and it's the show. Obviously, you love the show I didn't go to. That was your favorite show of all time.
Yeah,
Such a type of music guy, man.
I can't talk about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of it, I guess, is just being like, oh, everything now sucks and is stupid because it's not like a giant concert. Like, it's not going to be like, you know, fucking Bowie or whatever. It's like, now it's all the music. It's like 100 people listen to the band.
Yeah, for sure. It is harder to find, like, I mean, those big bands are out there still, but it feels, I don't know. I don't like seeing concerts in arenas, I don't think, at all. Like, I think it really kills it for me. I remember the first arena show I saw after only seeing club shows, because, like, I didn't start going to concerts until I was 16. And that's when I got way into nu metal, and that was like the very early days of nu metal. So they were playing, like Korn was playing like small clubs.
Right.
So the first probably 10 concerts I saw were like at small clubs, and then we went to see Pantera with White Zombie in an arena, and they wouldn't let me down on the floor without a ticket that said floor, so I couldn't get in the pit. That made me nuts. We ended up sneaking down, but like, also you're just standing in this huge fucking room, and I don't feel vibes that. I mean, I can feel vibes, but you know, it's kind of hard to feel like you're really into. And the people that go to arena shows now are awful.
Yeah, because they have the money for arena shows. I had to save it up. I'd feel like a tool if I saw like Mick Jagger now. I'd feel very played. That's not the same Mick Jagger that we all signed up for 40 years
he's
ago.
pushing 80, man.
Yeah, I can't believe those guys.
Me
like, I
neither.
know it's hacky to say that, like, the Rolling Stones, you know, they're old. But doing concerts when you're 80 is, like, before they were, like, 65, 70,
Right.
when the joke started.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, but now I'm ultra impressed if you're doing concerts at fucking over 80 years
People
old.
don't even bother to make the joke anymore because it's just run out of steam and they're still going. Like, it's clearly more powerful than any of
I
us.
saw James Brown like a couple of years before he died, and he came out on stage, and he would take long breaks in between songs and stuff, and he would come out, and I tell you, that guy at whatever age he was, 75, 80 years old, could still do his little leg things every once in a while. He just couldn't do them continuously, but every, like, in the
Well, I
high
can't
point
do
of a
it
song.
at all.
Yeah, no,
And I'm
I mean,
30.
This is fucking James Brown, you know? He still had a little in him. You know, even at an old age.
Well, none of us had any of it in us in the first place, so,
Yeah, that's so
it's
true.
kind of moot.
Yeah, I couldn't do it now.
All right, learning.
Yeah, so basically this dude was crazy, and there is kind of like a happy ending to the story because I decided this is terrible and I need to quit, but I'm going to wait till the end of the week when he hands me my check, and I'm going to go outside and stand next to my car so I can drive away if it goes bad. But I was like, dude, like, I can't work for you anymore because you're like so mad about everything and it's impossible to work with you.
Yeah.
And I think you should like go to the doctor.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
A fucking horrible way to live your life, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible to
So
say.
I
Like,
thought he
you're
was going to
just
be
an
all
angry
pissed off,
guy.
but he was like, yeah, it was like, it seems like you're ruining your own life by being this way. And you like know that you're like this, but you're not like doing anything about it.
So what did he say?
I just told him that. I'm like, you're like, the way you talk to me is like very disrespectful. And like, I can't work in an environment where you're like having angry outbursts every day. It's just like not something I can put up with. And you definitely don't pay me enough for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like,
for
oh,
sure.
I'm sorry. Like, I know that I suck or whatever.
Oh,
my God.
He's like, I know, I suck.
He was like,
dog.
actually,
I
yeah,
know
he
I
did like a
suck.
180. Like, he was like all apologetic and like acting super weird.
This guy's
but
got a problem.
the
Kinda
crazy-
worse.
Yeah.
I know,
like
it
a
was
strict
weird, like
asshole.
shitty like boyfriend thing to say, I guess. But the real happy ending is that I found like the contact info of the Instagram of the person who had the job before me, because I was gonna ask her like, how do you deal with this guy? But then by the time she accepted my request, I had like quit already. So we just got coffee, and I was like, yeah, that was crazy, huh? And she was like, she worked for him for 2 fucking years. I worked for him for a month before I quit. But he kept telling
So
her,
she
he was like,
validated everything you thought about this guy.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like even more crazy than, I guess I don't want to waste all your time and get into all of it, but it was like even worse. And he was like telling her he was going to give her the business and like basically stringing her along. And she eventually quit too. And she just started her own book bindery.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So-
That's the way to go. It's probably more
Winning for
successful
her.
than his.
This guy has to be stopped, even
Yeah.
just for his own
Yeah.
good.
Give you the
He really
business.
does. He really should be stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's basically like abusing college students to like run his business. But yeah, fuck him.
Yeah. That sounds, I mean, guys that employ mainly college students are going to be mean because they're not going to respect them.
No.
Is always the issue.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and I wanted him to like hear to his face like, this is like not how you treat people, and you should like fucking get it together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I never
Absolutely.
quit any job before, and it felt pretty good to tell him that.
I still haven't really quit a job, so I know the feeling. All right, Lermy, thanks for calling. We're going to get this last call so we can go home and watch Winning Time.
Okay, peace. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Peace. Thanks, Norm. All right, last one. Make it quick. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, it's Gavin from Connecticut. I apologize about a pretty heavy last call about Roe vs. Wade and how I'm concerned that there's other rights such as same-sex marriage, contraceptives, sodomy, interracial marriage, and random rights that will also be overturned.
Yeah.
And what Democrats are, the opposition party basically is trying to make money off this, and they're doing fuck all. They have the Senate, the House, Joe Biden's losing mind the presidency, and all we have right now basically is the union movement. And I think the Democrats need to die as a party if we're going to anything. I'll take the call or answer off the call. Thanks.
All right. Well, I agree. The Democratic Party has to die.
Yeah.
Literally.
I don't think it's enough for it to die. I think it has to be made to die.
Defeated.
Forcefully defeated.
Goes down in
Overrun,
flames.
Down in flames.
Yeah, and
not conquered, but overthrown, I guess.
I mean, I think like people who want good things to happen, getting engaged with, like, I always hate that you change it from the inside, the Democrats. Yeah. Oh, we got to change them. You know what I mean? But like, I don't think you should, run as a Democrat to try to change the thing or anything like that. I'm just saying that, like, having people in the position that the Democrats are in that actually give a shit and are willing to fight for things is why that party, if it dies, then something else is going to show up. And it's going to be people that give a shit. And, like, the thing is, like, our ideas don't seem popular, but when you start enacting our ideas, they become extremely fucking popular. So I always felt like it's a total proof of concept thing. I wish we could have them do some of the things. Like if they gave us universal health care, people would like universal health care. If they gave us fucking free utilities, which is a new thing I'm on for some reason, is free utilities.
Agreed.
I don't know why I'm on it, but I am on it and stuff like that. So like, I think people would be real happy about that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, it can't be this. It's like, the problem is like so many people that are Democrats or liberals are kind of just being like, well, it can't get that bad. And they just are just sitting there on their hands the whole time. Like, surely the Democrats won't let this happen. It's, I don't know what it's going to take. It's going to take too much for them. I worry, if they get extinguished, it's because they, some sort of fascist right wing took them out.
They've been coasting for like 5 decades since they did anything meaningful whatsoever. And then they've been holding everybody else hostage for the last 30 years as they've just like sat by and watched whatever had been won in the past, like reproductive rights, just watch it slowly squandered away. And now it's like, now that we see the rule that they followed led us to this, they're trying to pull everybody back in once more, one more midterm, one more presidential election.
We just need the parliamentarian. We just need the. There's always some special guy they can wheel out, and that's the reason they can't get anything done.
59 senators. We just need one more so we can blah blah blah.
Always one more.
Oh yeah.
And Joe Manchin's one of them.
Election.
Yeah.
Joe Manchin is one of those guys.
Right.
Why would we ever believe that if we got more Democrats in office that they wouldn't be like, God damn it, Joe Manchin won't let us do it again.
Yeah, damn Joe Manchin.
That goddamn Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. That's why nothing gets done.
They're very useful for the party, though, because they can set up then for all the Democrat diehard liberals out there. They can set up enemies that are like not outside the party, but within the party. So you can change it. Maybe we can get rid of them and change it again from the inside.
Get rid of just one of those.
Just one cinema or one mansion, and then we'll have get rid of the dinos, all that horseshit, man.
Right,
and we gotta let it go, man.
I used to hate the theory that they lose on purpose because it's easier to not have power than it is to have power. But I sort of don't think I believe. I feel like maybe they are not really that. They don't care that much to lose because then they don't have to do anything. Because when they have power, they don't do anything, and we yell at them for not doing anything. If they don't have power, everybody will be like, "Oh, they can't do that because the Republicans won't let them." So I don't know. It's like It's like a money generating operation where you can pay off a bunch of people that work for campaigns and shit like that is what it feels like to me now. It just doesn't even feel like a party.
The money that they make to be politicians isn't that much, but then they get enmeshed in all these like lobbying and like patronage networks or whatever.
Right.
So you get elected to Congress once for like 2 years, you can dine out on that for the next like 40 years.
Yeah.
And that's what they're protecting is all these networks of power and money that are tied into the Democratic Party. They don't care about legislation per se, but they don't want to lose that gravy train.
Dude, I don't need like I don't need a bunch of money in my bank. If people are taking me out and paying me to, and I'm eating fancy food, that's fucking exactly what I would want to be doing anyway. So I'll just campaign for the rest of my life.
Junkets?
Yeah.
I've never been on a fucking junket.
I love the sound of a junket.
Please.
It sounds so glamorous.
Once in my life, I want to go on a goddamn junket. I don't care where it is.
All right, that's the show.
Go to Rockaway Beach.
Yeah, thanks everybody for listening. This is Street Fight Radio. Thank you to our guests. Sean can be found on the Antifada podcast. Rax, you have a book out, Tacky.
I do.
What's the rundown?
It actually just got reviewed by the New York Times, and I'm going to use the phrase that the guy in the New York Times uses, which is that my book leads with its crotch.
Okay.
Oh, they said crotch in the New York Times about me, so that was pretty tight. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
And I'm doing an event for it here in Columbus tomorrow night. May 10th is the date tomorrow.
At the Book Loft?
At $2 Radio Headquarters.
$2 Radio Headquarters. That place is so cool. You're going to love it.
I'm really excited. It's with Hanif Abdurraqib, and I really don't want to embarrass myself in front of him.
I think it's also May 9th. I just looked at my phone. I think it's
May 9th.
May 9th, yeah.
Whatever date tomorrow is.
My daughter hired him to do an anti-racist speech at her school.
That's cool.
And she's like, he's so cool,
He's
man.
incredible, yeah.
And like makes me, she doesn't, she's not saying, it's also pretty cool what you do.
Right.
It's like, this guy's so great.
Yeah, this is the cool guy in my life now.
That's true. That's what happened.
You got replaced. All right.